Okay, so picking up from where we left off, you guys, the ones of you who went to the castle, you kind of ran long and hard into the night, trying to put as much distance between you and the coast as possible. The jungle of the Empire is fairly claustrophobic place at the best of times, but kind of trying to force passage in the darkness, that made it even more inhospitable to you. The sounds of the nocturnal predators, they're quite unnerving to even seasoned hunters like yourself. But following Havel and his by now growing knowledge of the rainforests, you guys put what you think to be enough distance between you and that castle. As you look behind you through the few gaps in the canopy you can find on the road, you can see that the lightning strikes are becoming increasingly more distant. It seems that the majority of them seem to be lingering around the coast. So it's an early morning sunrise that really kind of gives you an all clear here. You look back and you can see that these storm clouds have stayed far enough away that you don't feel like you're in any imminent danger. However, you guys has a disrupted night, shall we say. You got no chance for any sleep, so you guys are pretty tired. So you're now just about a day or so northeast of Perwold. You've obviously arranged to reconvene with Titus back in Weirden on your way, but it's getting on for the first hours of the new day. So how you want to go about travelling that is very much up to you guys.
Oh yeah, we said.
Cut off there, Cal.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we said we'd meet in Weirden, Titus.
Yeah, you guys had kind of set off after making the arrangements that Titus would go and drop off Conrad, and then you'd reconvene in Weirden.
That's right.
So, given that it's now going to be the 5th day since leaving, Titus should be on his way back there too.
So, are we camping to rest, or are we?
I think now we are safe from the threat. We should get some rest.
Yeah, even if it's just a quick short one. I'm a little tired. Wouldn't mind a little nap.
Okay. So it doesn't take you guys long to find a kind of small kind of grove of trees that look like they'll offer you sufficient protection from prying eyes on the track. And, are defensible enough that you're happy to camp there. So as you guys perch down, you can kind of see in the faces of your companions this not quite exhaustion as such, but you can see that everybody here is definitely looking a bit worse for wear after the night's ordeals. So you guys want to take a short rest? Just a little one, or are you going to go for the full 8 hours and give you guys a chance to recuperate a bit of your stamina?
Well, I know Chris and Torek have both used a lot of energy. I'm saying Torek because Guy's not here to say it for him.
Yeah, I can recover from a short rest, so it doesn't matter too much to me, but I know that there's a couple of us who've taken a few health points here and there, and a long rest might not be the most silly idea.
I don't think we've lost any health.
I was down 3. Someone else who touched the door.
Torek was down a little bit.
Yeah, the door.
You could hit dice that on a short rest.
Yeah, you can a short rest. But I just mean Torek used quite a few spells, I think.
Yeah, you'd used a couple when you were exploring that castle.
Okay, long rest then.
Okay. So, you guys, you stretch your sleeping bags out and get some rest in. Rulin, you have your 4 hours, and then have some time to kind of sit and meditate. And it's it's nice again to be back in the Empire's forests. You, as a boy, obviously had a little bit of time kind of doing some fieldcraft with Yorsif, and it kind of takes your memory back to those simpler days. Would that have been something that Rulin would have enjoyed maybe more than the kind of statecraft and the politics?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely more kind of in tune with nature than the very metropolitan dealings that your father would have really tried to impose on you.
Yeah.
But
the years spent in a monastery as well, that was quite secluded and
pretty remote. Okay, so that's another thing to think about as you meditate. And if you ignore all the kind of large predators out here, it could be quite peaceful. But you can keep those thoughts to yourself and watch over your resting companions. But roll me a perception.
What's going on? Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, coast's clear. Your choice of kind of resting place here seems to have been a good one. The only kind of passing traffic you see as you keep your vigil over the others is a solitary deer that kind of wanders across the track before dashing off back into the thick undergrowth. But as far as elven traffic goes, you see no one else. Which, I mean, it's not surprising. It doesn't look like it's the busiest route in the Empire. Mm-hmm. So you guys take your long rest. So regain any spell slots, hit points. You know the drill by now, and you're not going to be burdened with the exhaustion of having kind of run through the night. Okay, so unless anybody wants to do any kind of, this would, I suppose, be Torik's thing of brewing up potions or any post-long rest prep. I imagine you'll probably want to get going. So, back to where then?
Yep.
Cool. So, by now it's starting to kind of the heat of a midday is dying down a little bit. And you make good progress, and you manage to get to and then subsequently past Powald on your way back before night falls again. It's a similar drill. You've obviously rested quite recently, but it's safer to travel by day, so you set up camp again for the night. As you're going back there, again, this is a busier road. Weirden to Powald is a trade route really. So you've got something that actually looks like it was at least cut from the surrounding countryside rather than just being an oversized beast path. But you have no trouble. These roads are fairly well travelled and not as wild as they could be. So yourself again in the morning. You're only about a day away from Weirden now. You keep going at the normal pace, not rushing, but not dawdling either. Just about mid-afternoon when you see in the road ahead what looks to be a kind of a series of crates, the kind of which would be not an uncommon sight on the back of a merchant's wagon. You can see that some of them are kind of broken here. Looks like they might have fallen off the back of something. But the wagon in question is nowhere to be seen.
So there's no one around?
No. You can look on the road and see that this crate seems to be the only trace of civilization here on the road. It's long since been forgotten about or left.
Can I look if there's any suitable tracks from any sort of wagon that could have been carrying this?
Yeah, sure.
He steps
sorry,
forward. Triss is going to stop him and just cast Detect Magic, just to make sure he's not walking into an obvious trap.
Okay, so Triss, as Braxton steps forward, you kind of put a hand on his shoulder to stay his feet, and you cast your senses over this pile of crates, and what you can detect from them is that they are, from the looks of it, just fairly mundane wooden boxes. You detect no magic.
Super. I'll just gesture for him to continue.
So, Braxton, on Triss's go-ahead, you continue your approach and roll me a survival check, please.
Oh, survival. Yeah, that's just
straight 14. So you look down, and by this point, the road is kind of starting to be cobbled. And you can see that there are definitely signs of wagons moving on this road. However, you struggle to really put a time frame on these tracks. Some of them look like they may have passed a while ago. Others, within the last couple of days. It seems that multiple vehicles have travelled along this at some point.
Okay. Does the box look suitably weathered, or is it strangely clean?
So, other than a couple of breaks and splinters where there's been an impact, you can see that these crates are in fairly good condition. They don't look like they've been out here for weeks or months on end.
Are there any? Are there any markings on the crates or?
So on the faces of the crates that you can see, they all appear to be plain.
So there was some cracks in at least one of them, I'd say. Able to peer inside and see the contents.
So you kind of stick your eye close to one of these cracks where one of the kind of wooden staves has given way. And you can see that the contents inside seem to be divided up into a kind of series of smaller leather bags.
Pull out ye old trusty crowbar and every one of
them. So, Roland, these crates aren't hard to get open. In fact, they seem to come apart quite easily, suggesting that maybe they weren't secured as well as they could have been. So you managed to pry the lid off the nearest one to you with no real difficulty.
Okay. It's just full of these bags.
So you look at these things, and these bags they're fairly sizable. And as you kind of pick one up, you can feel that it weighs definitely several kilograms. Probably looking at maybe 4 or 5, you would guess.
I'll put it back and then say to everyone, right, okay, let's go. No, of course, I open
it. So as you open this bag, you kind of pull at the top string of it. And as this string goes, it seems to release the kind of tension in the bag. And the top half seems to slip over in your hand, and you can see what appears to be grain spilling out.
appears to be grain spilling out, or is grain?
Well, you would assume it's grain. It looks like grain.
Okay, so would I know? Is it normal habit to transport grain inside separate leather bags?
Now I'm going to make you roll for that, but I just need to figure out what agricultural transport would come under.
History? I guess there's just knowledge of.
Yeah, I suppose history would be, probably the closest fit here.
I might have said history when that's like one of the worst. 11.
Well, you know that grain tends to be transported in bags. Don't know so much about crates, but
does the weight of the bag feel like it matches the amount of grain that's in the bag, or could there potentially be some?
It looks like it should fit. Enough of this grain is tipped loose.
I'll continue tipping it out and see if there's anything.
Have a roll me a perception check.
Let's do it to it. Chew it.
Should specify I'm tipping it onto the ground.
That will be a very lovely 18.
Havel, you spot, just in time to issue a very hasty warning, a streak of orange exit from these trees and hurtle straight towards the party. So everybody roll a dexterity saving throw. Havel with advantage for spotting that, and then once you're done with that, roll initiative.
Oop!
So DC 16 for that.
Random people might be close.
16, you say? Will I... 20-something for me.
So it's a pass.
21.
And you have evasion, don't you?
Oh, 23. Yeah. So
well, if there's any damaging effects, I would.
Yep, so Rulin, you have evasion on that one.
I got 8 for that.
It's interest, you also passed, okay.
Guy, just in time, roll a dex saving throw, quick.
And what did you get there, Rich?
16,
so you guys all passed that. So it seems that Havel's warning came just in time for you guys to throw yourselves down to the deck. And as you kind of lie there, hands over your heads, you can feel this wave of heat brush over you guys as this kind of a woof sound fills your ears as the air above you becomes superheated. Was that a roll for Torek there, Rich?
No, that was a roll for initiative.
Oh, for initiative, okay.
Tarek's just getting hit.
I was about to say, if guys here, he can actually do it himself.
He's just connected.
Welcome to the session, guy. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, that's just about what I was expecting. If you roll a 1, you die. That is 14.
14. DC 16, so do your modifiers take you up to that? Or
is he in 10 metres of Braxton? 10 foot.
Yeah, he would be. You guys are.
We have a rest.
Then it gets saving throws, doesn't he?
Okay. Yep. So in which case, yeah, Torek, you will have passed that as well.
Good old Braxton.
And we've had a long rest.
You guys have had a long rest, yeah. Okay, cool. So you guys are only going to take the half damage. Stand fast, Rulin, who is being a monk, going to take a whole load of nothing.
I only need a few more levels, and I can do that. Oh my god!
I'll get that picture on for you.
Okay, so you guys are going to take 17 damage apiece for that one. So let me just jot that down before we move on.
Thank God we did that long rest.
I don't like it.
Of course, Titus not being here is also not going to have to do that.
The ultimate saving throw.
It's not being present.
How to be a long-lived adventurer. Stop adventuring.
Meanwhile, at a coffee shop in Weyerden.
No, that does bring me on to onto Titus actually. So Titus, you've had a fairly sedate journey back from dropping Conrad off. You made sure he got on his ship just fine. You even carried his stuff up and got him settled in his cabin. You wouldn't want anything to happen to your good friend Conrad, so you hooked up his hammock just right, so that he's not going to fall out or hurt himself in any way. You set off back as you're kind of peacefully meandering through the roads of the Empire. You see him like a little bit further up the road than you. This almighty column of flame, and then followed quickly by smoke ahead of you. You reckon it's about 300 yards.
I'm going to start running over there. It's going to.
Well, you're on horseback, so. So you kind of see this coming and put the spurs in. So Titus, you're going to get here on the start of turn 3. It'll take you that long to cover the distance. The rest of you, as you pick yourselves up, you are kind of seeing a couple of shady figures coming out of these trees. One of which you recognise, and you hear. You can kill the others, but bring the gnome to me, says Alistair the Tiefling. So, get yourselves on that initiative board if you haven't already, and I'll roll for these guys.
Oh,
I've already done mine.
Has Torik's initiative been rolled?
Okay, so...
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Max and 9, and I can reroll.
Titus.
So we bumped into Alistair, have we?
You've been ambushed.
Let's fuck him. In the ass.
Before the tentacle gets my ass.
Itchy back.
I'm way up here. I got
Lipstick for
22.
man.
Mm-hmm.
God
Check
damn
out-
it.
Check out C1 over there. What the fuck is this guy?
Top of turn 3.
Swan?
Oh, okay. So
It's like
really getting in there quickly.
Dark Elf 4, isn't it?
So you guys, you hear this, and out of the trees steps Alistair. Now he is in his full plate. You can see he's still kept his favourite cloak, but now in his right hand he has what appears to be a kind of mace of sorts. But as he steps forward, you guys are going to be around these crates. Actually, I should probably get you guys actually on the board. Would help. Except obviously Titus. So as he steps forward, you see him kind of press something on his mace, and immediately the kind of head of it drops down, and you can see this wicked-looking steel cable that seems to have kind of sharpened strakes running all along it. And he flicks his wrist, and this flail now makes a horrible rattling sound, and a few sparks strike off from the cobblestones. But he's going to step out into the middle of the road, and he's going to make a couple of attacks with this. So the first one, Braxton, being kind of close to and on your feet, he takes a kind of long overarm kind of pulling back motion, and then lashes this thing in your direction. And it's just going to hit. So caught off guard a little bit by the reach of this thing. You don't quite get your shield up in time to really parry this. So you can take a bit of damage there. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13 damage from this here. So you're going to take 13
Okay.
His next attack is more of a continuation of the first, as he effortlessly swipes down and brings his hand kind of across his body. And the head of this mace kind of pulls itself out of the breastplate where it made a small indent in Braxton's armor and swipes pretty quickly around at you there, Rulin. However, kind of seeing this thing hit into your comrades, you kind of were aware of how far this thing can go, having seen the chain extended. And as you see Alistair take the action of pulling it, you guess what's coming next. You manage to throw yourself beneath the ball as it swings over, narrowly missing your head. It's close, but no cigar. So Titus isn't actually here yet, so that means Cultist 3 is going to go. So Torek and Triss, when this fireball came in and Alistair came out, you noticed this a shady-looking fellow drop quite stealthily from this tree behind. If he weren't clad in a shield and a sword that he kind of braced against the floor to cushion his impacts, you doubt you would have maybe heard him coming. But he's there now, and he seems to be intent on you guys. So he's going to make a fairly quick dash to you here, Torek, and he's going to try and hit you with his sword, but he's going to hit you with the pommel of it. He's going to try and stun you here.
Ooh, that's bad.
Okay, that is going to be 8. So, Torek, that's going to hit, and I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw. And I guess we can use that roll.
Hang on, I was just saying, sorry, muted. That was Homie's initiative.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I tossed it before.
Yeah, no worries, that's fine. Just get him on that tracker then, and then roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay, that's 15.
15. So you kind of take this blow to the head, and you can feel your senses ring a little bit. He's got the size advantage on you here, so it's kind of like a top-down crack on the noggin. However, you kind of stumble backwards and kind of shake your head vigorously, and the blurring was there momentarily, but you managed to snap yourself out of it. So you're not going to take much damage from that because it was a hit with a hilt there.
Awesome.
So you're just going to take with his strength, you're going to take 5 damage there.
5 damage.
Dex, sorry, not strength. And seeing you kind of come up, he's got to follow through with a shield bash. Which is going to hit, so I'm going to need another saving throw, this time disadvantage.
I will Flash of Genius this, just to be safe. Oh, didn't need to, but still used it.
Again, so kind of seeing this coming, you kind of guess what he's coming to do again. So you cross your arms out in front of you, and the shield, it hits, and you can feel like a sharp pain in your left wrist. But you stop the metal of the shield coming into contact with your head.
That's cool.
It's just going to be.
Just imagine the sound of like the mechanism smashing on my arm.
So another 5 damage there.
Ooh. Alrighty.
Sorry, but you're on your feet and you're not stunned. And this guy seems to be quite irritated at that. And then, God, these guys really did well on our initiative, huh? So having seen Alistair come and start laying into you guys, this second cultist, he kind of springs into action on his boss's initiative. Braxton, you hear from behind a kind of a heavy clunk of very recognisable plate mail sound come in, and he's going to just kind of carefully jump down this little incline, steadying himself as he goes. I've got the wrong guy. That's not plate mail, dude. In which case, it's going to be a very expert descent down that incline. He's not actually wearing. I've got my cultist mixed up. He's not wearing heavy armor at all. Disregard my last. But yeah, he's going to come in and use the distraction caused by Alistair's sudden emergence to get a few attacks in on you there, Braxton. So I'll roll them both together just because there's no advantage or disadvantage. So that is going to be 2 hits. So you can take 2d6 plus 10 slashing damage. So 16, and then 2d4 psychic damage. Okay, so you take 18 damage as this cultist kind of slides down that slope and slashes at your back with what appears to be a short sword of a certain description. He manages to find a couple of gaps in your plate mail, but the chain mail kind of stops it from being a fatal blow. You can feel though that's probably going to need a little bit of attention afterwards. And Tarek, you're up.
Awesome. I think I'm going to take this first turn to just recoup up a bit. I've got a potion of boldness that I could drink. And it's going to give me bonus temporary hit points when I drink it.
So, yeah, you've kind of bought yourself a bit of time with that last maneuver. So you reach into your pouch and pull out this little vial.
Cool. So boldness will mean I can add a d4 to my attack rolls and saving throws for the next minute.
Okay, that's cool.
And
then how many temporary hit points are you going to get from that?
I believe it's 2d6. I'm just going to double check that. It's, And this is a standard action, so I think my next action would be to use my teleporting boots to teleport right here, if that's okay, behind the boxes.
Okay.
Excellent.
Sure thing.
God.
So you kind of chug this potion and click your heels. And you kind of reappear in this little gap between the crates. And you're of a short enough stature, but you can't see Alistair over the top. The guy you were stood next to, you can kind of see it takes him a while to figure out what's happened. But he still has line of sight on you.
Yes. It's just broken the distance, and that's all I need right now.
Yep, you now have 3 allies in between you and him. So.
Yes, that's good. 2d6 plus 5 temporary hit points.
Okay,
so that's 8 temporary
8
hit points.
Alrighty. So yeah, you see Torek kind of disengage from this this assault he's had. He's obviously heard Alistair's commands, so you imagine this has probably sparked off Torek's paranoia.
Yeah.
You know, him constantly saying that people are out to get him now seems to be grounded in some sort of fact. Okay, cool. And that brings us on to Havel.
Okie dokie. How far away? Sick. So, I'm going to do something I've been waiting to do for ages. Bonus action, I'm going to cast Lightning Arrow.
Okay.
So for the next minute, any ranged attack the weapons ammunition turns into a bolt of lightning. And then, good old Alistair, my lovely friend. I'm going to show him what my brand new hand can do. And just take 2 shots at him.
Okay.
And then we'll resolve each one based on that. So that's 22 and a 24.
So you have 2 hits.
Sick. Right, so with lightning arrows. On a successful hit, the target takes 4d8 lightning damage. And whether you hit or miss, each creature within 10 feet of the target must make a dexterity saving throw, DC 13, or take 2d8 lightning damage, or half as much on a successful save.
Okay, so he's obviously not within 10 feet of anyone, so that bit doesn't really apply. But he's going to take the damage there. So you want to roll it up for me?
8d8, okay. $34.
34 damage. So these 2 arrows kind of loose from your bow there, Havel, and you can kind of see these. It's quite curious, really, watching the lightning traveling at arrow's pace. That's a bit of a new one for you. Obviously, being used to the instantaneousness of lightning. But still, that being said, they're still going fast. Fast enough, Alistair has no time to take any evasive actions here. So you put these bolts over these crates into him. And as they connect, you can kind of see this electricity sparking between the plates in his armor. And you can see like a bit of smoke rising from the fringes of his cape, closest to where the arrows have hit. They're smouldering. It hasn't been enough to ignite it. But you can see he kind of grits his teeth and he fixes you with a gaze that is just full of hatred.
Oh, wonderful. In terms of movement, I'm hoping, do these boxes class as half cover if you're close to them or not?
In terms of visibility, yeah, they would.
All right, okay. I'll just kind of get a little closer to Rulin, buddy up with him.
Mm-hmm.
Watch his back. That's about it. I'll stick around here. I'm done.
Okay, so Rulin, you see these bolts of lightning fly from Hal's bow as he slides into cover next to you.
Okay.
You can see that this has kind of knocked Alistair off his guard a little bit. You're up.
Okay. Assessing the situation. Braxton's dealing with this guy. Alistair's there. Push over to closest 3.
Okay.
Engage. So, spear attack.
Sure. Roll up.
See.
That's a hit.
Yep. 20. Yeah. Right. And wow, since I've done. So. 5 damage, and I'll spend a key point to attempt a stunning strike.
Okay.
It's DC 50 Constitution.
DC 15 Constitution. Okay, we can do that for him. So the spear comes as a bit of a fast attack for him. He can't get his shield up in time. However, as your fist follows up to deliver that key, he manages to parry it aside with the rear end of his kukri here. You still hit him, but you hit him in the shoulder rather than the kind of center of mass that you were really hoping to deliver that energy to. But you can see that spear is definitely dug in deep to his lower thigh there, and he's already got blood dripping down his trouser leg from that.
Oh, draw the spear and stab in for the second attack. 21.
21. So you pull the spear out, and kind of jab back again quickly, and you can kind of see that this guy, his reactions have been slowed down by this pain. So you manage to quite easily avoid the shield again, and this time you stick it into his lower abdomen. You could feel there's a little bit of chainmail there, but you know from that telltale squelch at the tip has at least pierced some of it.
Less impressive, 9 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck it, spend another key point to attempt a stunning strike.
Okay, so DC 16 again.
15.
15, okay. And again, it seems that the spear seems to be more effective. You don't know whether it's just due to the reach on it, but as you try and close the distance to deliver the key to him, he kind of throws himself backwards a couple of paces. And your hand doesn't quite make contact with him. But yeah, you can see now that you've inflicted some damage to this guy. He's bleeding a bit.
All right, fuck it. One more key point. Flurry of blows.
Yeah, roll them. May as well do them together, I suppose.
I'll put that one by itself. That's one hit, and I'll just
Okay.
a second.
Yeah, we'll do damage together if necessary.
It's a 19.
So one hit, one miss on that. Sorry, no, you matched it. You're good. 2 hits.
Oh, okay, cool. 6 plus 5. 18.
So, kind of carrying on with your fairly vicious assault here. You don't give this guy any time to get his breath or catch his balance. And as he tries to pull away from you, wielding the spear, you kind of follow forward, using your nimble footwork to kind of keep that gap close enough to deliver these melee blows. And your fists are obviously fast enough that his kind of movement of his shield is slow in comparison. Like that's a reasonably heavy bit of metal he's trying to move to dodge your fists. So you have no real problem in delivering these strikes to this guy. And you can kind of hear him as the wind is knocked out of his lungs there. But you keep him on the back foot.
Okay. Special effects.
Special effects.
So let's try, because it was a successful hit. So let's try a Dex 15 saving throw or get knocked.
So he fails that one. So what's that? Prone.
Yeah, and then so I keep forgetting. Did we establish going to have two? They make the 2 special effects for 2 hits. I guess it doesn't matter because I was going to say that you can't take a reaction now.
Yeah, he can't take a reaction now that he's prone anyway.
Sure.
Cool. So you kind of just keep pummeling this guy, and as he raises his shield higher, you actually kind of bring your leg around and put it behind his ankles, and then give him a firm shove, and he goes down on his back as you deliver this fairly powerful blow to him.
Then I shall. I'll step. No, hold on, I'll stay where I am. Okay, that's it. Turn over.
Okay. Right then, so Triss and Homunculus. So I'd probably say Triss go first.
Okay. So I've just changed my mind a little bit what I was going to do. So if Homie does want to go first, he can do, just because I'm not quite sure what I'm doing now.
Yeah, okay. Kevin, do you want to take Homunculus' turn?
Cool, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I will do.
Actually need to get
now, I haven't used a bonus action to... yeah, I guess so, because I teleported away.
Yeah, he would have been near you, I suppose.
Yeah. Since I didn't use a bonus action to command him, he can't really do any special actions, so all he can really do is move or dodge. So he's actually going to fly over behind this assassin-y bloke, and he's going to use the dodge action to just avoid any damage that might come his way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe I can use him next turn.
Sure. So Homunculus, despite the lack of actions, you've kind of pre-programmed a few kind of certain sets of criteria. And Homunculus here has recognised the situation and has engaged his kind of combat protocol. So lacking further instruction, he kind of proceeds to the nearest enemy and starts to proceed to be as much of a distraction as possible. Low-flying buzzes, the occasional bonk on the back. Nothing particularly harmful, but it's going to be distracting to him.
Yeah, it's very hard to fight when there's a whizzing blade behind you.
Cool. Triss, hopefully give you a bit more time.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go back to the standard. I'm gonna double Eldritch Blast, C3, and he's prone, isn't he? So
he's prone, so that will be a disadvantage.
For me.
Because he's on the deck, so a smaller target.
My follow-up query was going to be, one of the things I can do with Eldritch Blast is the Repelling Blast, so knocking him back up to 10 feet. That won't apply with him being on the floor, will it?
Yeah, you can still knock him back.
Okay.
He'll still be prone when he gets there too, so you basically just push him further along the ground.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's do that. Let's see if we can get some sweeping done.
Okay, so roll that for me with disadvantage because he's on the deck.
Yep, the first one. The lowest one there is 12.
So, Trish, you kind of take a snapshot reaction as this guy goes down and really comes back. You miss him by a little bit. It kind of lands just a few centimetres off his left boot. And the second, I think that was a 3 as well, wasn't it? So you kind of try and adjust this this aim, and as you pull back, you're about to let this blast go, but you see Rulin kind of following in for a follow-up, so you kind of pull your aim a little bit upwards to avoid him and aim for a different part of him. However, again, it just narrowly misses this guy's head as you put the blast literally a few inches away from his ear.
And that's me.
Okay. So yeah, it's you had to do the whole 180 and quickly assess the situation. So it's not too unexpected for maybe not perfect precision here. You're not Havel.
I forget that about knocking people prone as well, that it causes disadvantage for ranged.
Yeah.
I need to bear that one.
It's a tricky one, especially for people whose AC is based on like dodging and stuff. Because you'd think if anything, it'd be easier if they're not able to move around. But I guess you can't overcomplicate things like that. You would be here for hours. Right, so Braxton, you're up. So you've kind of had a fairly kind of hard hit to the chest, and then followed up by kind of a slash to the kidney area here. But being a fairly hardened soldier now, you've managed to keep a cool head, and you've assessed what's going on here. This is kind of classic ambush tactics, surround, surprise, and then strike. So your head is very much still in the game here, despite your wounds.
Wonderful. So, after sustaining quite a big attack in the very early stages of the ambush, I think I'm going to try and protect myself a little bit more. So I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself as a bonus action.
Okay. So just what that looks like to your companions.
So I just murmur slowly to myself, sort of grasping my holy symbol, and you just see a faint glow around the armor, like a blue, almost like a backlight around my armor, sort of adding that magical sort of protection along with the actual protection of the armor.
Okay, cool. So you guys watch as this happens, and the you can see like the prominent hand on the front of Braxton's shield is kind of the centerpiece of this illumination. But he takes up a defensive stance with this, and you can see the kind of cultist near him. You can see there's a moment of hesitation there, but it's very quickly gone. This guy is clearly fairly well trained. Alrighty, so that's done, and you're moving that way.
Sorry?
You kind of moved up to the cultist. Anything else you want to get up to?
I said I'm going to attack him, but I don't.
Oh, sorry, I think you might have
push to talk.
Okay.
I want to
Cool. Yeah.
Let me just check my bonus modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so +8. So that's a 20. I
One
get
hit.
2 attacks as well, actually, so I might as well roll them both.
Yeah, sure. So that's one hit.
Oh, that was on 20 for so long. That's a 12, so that's probably...
So it's a miss. So you kind of bring your sword kind of in an upward sweeping motion. You kind of looked at this guy and weighed him up and thought he'd be the one to try and jump back to avoid this.
Just 5 damage.
So you were right in your assessment. He does kind of hop backwards from this attack. You expected this and tried to extend your reach as much as you could, but in your kind of heavy plate compared to his what looked like fairly light robes, you weren't quite able to get the full blade of your sword into him. But you can see that the kind of tip and maybe the first couple of inches in that upward sweep cut through the kind of cloth of his forearms. And yeah, you see blood drip down onto the road as he kind of backs off and regains his stance.
Nice. That's it for my turn.
Alrighty. So the next thing you see Braxton is a heavily armored individual. Kind of coming. He's taken his time. He hasn't been as fast as his comrades in the ambush here, as he's taken his time to kind of dismount this this little slope here. You know, as a heavy armor user yourself, that if you fall prone in a fight, that can really lower your survival chances. So he hasn't been risky with that. But now that he's down and seeing you attacking his comrade, he's going to just leap in and he's going to swing a two-handed warhammer in your general direction. So I'll roll those both together. And they're both going to connect. So you can take 2d8 plus 10 in bludgeoning. So 20 bludgeoning damage for Braxton. And this, the Warhammer is a weapon designed to defeat heavy armor. It's pretty brutal. You've seen the effects before, and you don't want to be in the medic's tent trying to piece back together, the effects that a Warhammer can have, especially on bone. You're quite lucky in the sense that you're able to get a bit of an angle on it, so it's the hammer glances a little. However, it still hurts like hell. There's a lot of force behind this impact.
That roll was a concentration, by the way.
Okay, cool. And there is another component that I need to roll actually, because you're also going to, as these blows hit, you feel a kind of chill seep down your arm. So that's an additional 6 in cold damage. So, guys, you watch as Braxton here is basically taking the brunt of this ambush here, as you expected from a man of his kind kind of conviction. He doesn't flinch, despite what you can see as fairly substantial wounds mounting up now. But his faith holds. Is kind of still protected by this shimmering light, and you can see that he's determined to keep that fight going as long as he can. Titus, roll me an animal handling check.
Oh.
Shit.
Chaz has got his feet up on the desk there.
No, it is Blueberry. It is Blueberry too. Oh, can you guys hear me?
I was going to say,
Yeah, we will.
Oh, okay. Is Blueberry? It is Blueberry 2. Does that mean I get advantage?
No, it does not.
Okay. Worth a shot. That is 13, actually.
13 will do it. So you kind of kick this kind of steed of yours, and it can kind of feel from you kind of bouncing up and down in the saddle your sense of urgency here. That seems to be something that's transmitted here without the need for actual words. It's kind of almost a primal instinct this horse seems to have. So you feel this horse kind of dig deep and put in as much effort as it physically can into moving you.
Blueberry 2 is a good horse.
Yeah, he's a strong horse. But he rounds this corner at speed, and you kind of see as you come around the corner this combat taking place in the middle of this road, close to the river. And as you kind of draw a little nearer, you can see that it's your friends and a fairly shady group of individuals. So roll me a dexterity saving throw, advantage because you can see and you're a barbarian, so you get that.
That is a 21. 21?
So you kind of seeing this, you'd basically kind of in one fluid motion swing your left leg over the back of Blueberry 2 and kind of drop down to the road, and you kind of do a combat roll into a full sprint. So you're going to emerge a little bit into the map. You can see Blueberry kind of peels off, clearly scared by the clashing of metal and all that. But Titus, you are now on the board a little bit early.
That's badass. Sick.
Alrighty. Alistair, however, is not really focusing on you. So seeing that his kind of lackeys have got Braxton fairly pinned down here, he's going to turn his rage to you there, Havel. So he's going to lash out at you with his flail, which is going to miss.
What did I ever do to upset him?
But as the flail moves forward, it kind of very easily splinters these two remaining crates. So they shatter, and he's going to again flick his wrist and bring this flail back for a second go. Which is also going to miss. That angers him a little bit, so now he's just going to kind of let out a roar, and he's going to charge towards you.
Ooh.
I don't like
And
it.
as he comes there, he sees you, Tarek. And as bonus action, he's going to try and kick you into the river. So I need you to make a contested strength saving throw here. We'll do that roll. Oh no, that's not good for you.
Oh.
Which is so sad because that was in any other scenario a fantastic roll. But as he rounds this sole remaining crate and sees you, Tarek, you got to see fire in his eyes here, but he quite calmly and calculatedly looks at this river and then just lashes out with his right boot. Although you kind of brace your legs down and try and lower your center of mass to resist this kind of impulse, when the boot makes contact with your raised hands, the force is just irresistible. He is a strong gentleman. He he kind of knocks you back into this river. You don't land on any rocks, and being quite small, you don't have to worry about the depth too much. But you're now kind of in this river, and every turn you stay in there, you're going to risk getting swept further and further away in the fast-moving currents of the rapids here.
Okay, that's who? Oh dear.
Titus, so now you're on the scene, it'll be your go.
Beautiful. Okay, so after my phenomenal dismount, Titus is gonna. This may surprise everybody. He's gonna charge in.
What?
No.
And obviously see him ruling in combat.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna. They've done this before.
And the guy's prone anyway, so.
Oh, he's prone. Oh, great.
It's like Titus sees the soft, squishy man on lying on the ground. It's just like, oh god.
This is
so
beautiful.
happy.
I'm gonna take out the big evil axe, and bonus action rage. And I'm not going to go reckless because he's prone. So I'm kidding. Of course, it's going to be reckless. Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Classic.
Oh, damn! Please, all I want is the triple.
So that's the hits.
And then that's going to be
Oh yeah, you've got your crits now.
12d6 plus 9 now because my rage is plus 3 now. So that's 14.
So 14 damage. You deliver this kind of big blow to this guy as he's on the floor. You kind of put this axe down into his abdomen. And although the chainmail stops the blade from just splitting him in half, you could feel a rib crack as the kind of just the sheer brutality of the kind of the force involved takes its effect on the human.
Is he dead?
Physiology. He's not dead, but he's
okay. I'm gonna hit him again.
Coughing quite heavily now.
I'm gonna hit him again. That's gonna be 26.
That's a hit.
I'm gonna need to take 2 con saves after this then.
You will.
And that is only 12 damage.
12 damage. So again, not quite piercing, but you can see that you're definitely causing fairly serious bodily harm to this guy.
Cool. And I'll do my 2 con checks same time. 2 passes.
So you kind of feel the axe's lust for violence here. And you don't try to fight its effects. And so you take no harm from this, but you're really savouring just the sheer violence you're inflicting on this guy. Even though he's on the ground and isn't really what you would call a warrior's most honourable blows, it feels good to be hurting this guy.
It's been a long time since Titus has smashed something. But yeah, he's going to kind of shoot Rulin a grin as he brings the axe up ready to hit again.
Cool. So Cultist 3. So he is going to kind of see this combination here. And he's going to, first of all, he's going to kind of pick himself up in the break between Titus's axes coming down. He takes the opportunity to kind of jump to his feet. And he's actually going to take the dodge action. Disengage action. So he's going to avoid any opportunity attacks. And he's going to attempt to kind of leap onto this rock in the middle of the river. And he's going to do it. So he kind of hops fairly adeptly, despite you can see clear wincing as he lands. I don't know if I can actually stick him up there.
Attach thing. Attach something.
Let me see. We'll get the gist of it. So he's on that rock, and you can see there's clearly a wince of pain as he lands. But as he does kind of grip onto a rock, he turns and pulls out a crossbow.
Hey, come back here, you sneaky!
Alrighty, so second cultist here. He's he's seen this kind of heavy hits that you've taken there, Braxton. So he's going to seize the initiative there to try and bring you down quickly. So he's going to attack twice again and just try and get you out of the way. You suspect that these guys have practiced these techniques before. So that is going to be a 21 and 22.
God damn it. 21 AC at the moment.
So 2 hits again. Let me roll those up for you.
It's plus 10, I'm dead.
It is plus 10.
Yeah, I've got 11 hit points.
Okay, so kind of having seen the effects of the hammer blows and the flail on your plate, this guy seems to have worked out where the damage is going to be most severe, and he thrusts his sword kind of into a spot just below your kind of left shoulder here. And sure enough, this plate, it holds for a little bit, and you can kind of hear a screech, but even the most hardy metal has its limits. And the tip of this blade digs in deep. Being quite a thin, narrow blade, it seems to slot between and easily pry open the underlying mail. Braxton, you kind of feel this cold blade sink in to what you feel is your lung. Your breath starts becoming quite laboured. You try to swing as you go down, but the kind of the blow is easily dodged. You're not on peak form here, but it was more of an act of defiance than a real chance to hit him. Patrice, you watch as Braxton kind of sinks to one knee and then falls onto his back. You can see that he's still alive. You can see he's alive here, but he's not looking good. He's really struggling to breathe on the floor here. And then capitalizing on that, he is then going to move to assist Alistair. Tarek, you're up.
Awesome. I'm getting washed down the river, right?
Yep, so you're going to need to get out of there fairly quickly. These are kind of quite narrow but very fast-flowing waters, and you can see quite a lot of very nasty rocks further downstream.
Okay. Do you think I could actually take an action? I think I could turn this into an advantage.
I'm all ears.
I have a transmutation potion, and one of the features of it is that I can adapt my body to an aquatic environment, sprouting gills and growing webbing between my fingers, also giving me the ability to breathe underwater and to swim at a speed equal to my land speed.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, boy.
So describe this transformation to the group. What form is Torek taking?
So, after Torek gets kicked, he gets a lot of breathing room because he blocked it quite well, but he's going into the water and his mind is racing on what to do. And as he peers down, just about as he's falling into the water, he sees let's say a trout, and just grins to himself, thinking, DNA.
Okay.
And he falls in, and under the water, he's prepared this potion and drunk it. Maybe they're bubbling on the water's surface where he fell in.
So, you guys, you saw Torek go in, Rulin. You're obviously, having followed this guy and seen him leap, you're kind of looking out towards the river anyway, Triss probably as well. And you guys are, Rulin, you probably can't see from here, but Triss, as you peer over, you can see in amongst these rapids. It's got a lot of white water anyway, but you see 4 big bubbles come to the surface. But Torek does not.
Awesome. So I have mutated, and I gain those temporary hit points again because I've drunk a potion. Cool, so I gain 12 temporary hit points.
So it gives you a total of 20.
Man, this is... When I first read this ability, I didn't think it'd be that good, but an extra 20 health is not shabby.
Yeah, Braxton could do with that right now.
Yeah. It's a shame I've used my standard action, innit?
No, time to go for the swim instead.
I know. Oh,
Okay,
dear.
cool.
Hang on,
So,
let me read the text to one of my spells quickly. I can't see people up here, can I?
There's a bit of a ledge. You can probably see Triss, and probably Alistair and Havel, because these guys are close enough to the edge, but the rest of them, you're going to be at a height disadvantage there.
Yeah. Oh! I can cast spells through Homie!
Uh-huh.
I'm going to cast, as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word targeting Braxton. Yeah.
Okay. Roll that up, please.
14 health.
14 health. So Braxton, as you're kind of down and struggling to breathe here, you've kind of been spluttering up blood for a bit. But you kind of see, as your vision falters, there's kind of beeping and a bright light just buzzing above you. You didn't think angels were going to be this annoying. But you see this thing shoot something into your kind of exposed cheek. And you kind of feel a warmness spread across your face. Your tongue goes a little bit numb. Unfortunate side effects for further testing will probably remove. But you kind of start to notice that breathing becomes an easier process. And as the oxygen kind of starts to recirculate into your body with a kind of increasing volume, your vision starts to clear. And you notice that angel is in fact this homunculus. And you can kind of see now that the cultist standing above you is clearly looking at other things. And the other one seems to have left entirely. But you pick yourself up to your feet here and kind of spit out one final mouthful of blood before kind of bracing your shield against the ground to cover you as you stand back up. Cool. Anything else there, Tarek, or you done for that one?
I think I'm actually safer under the water's surface for now. I'll just be using my movement to counter the currents of the river.
Cool. So because you've obviously gained this webbing, the athletics check I was going to make you do, I'll let you do it with advantage. So it's going to be a DC 10 to kind of maintain your position in the water.
Cool. Athletics, I get no... Oh my god.
Okay, so Tarek, you are still... I mean, you knew kind of what this potion would do, but the actual application of this webbing seems to take a bit of getting used to. You haven't quite got the angles figured out yet, so you get swept 20 foot downstream. And you kind of bounce off the wall to do so. So you can take D4 bludgeoning damage. So you take 2 bludgeoning damage. You kind of see the rock coming and orientate yourself so it hits your back rather than your face.
That is an advantage.
Yeah, so it's not a big blow here.
That takes away some of my temporary.
Yeah, so you're at 18 temporary hit points remaining, and you're a little further away. And this current doesn't seem to show any signs of subsiding. Okay.
Awesome. Yep, that's my go.
Havel, you're up.
Okay. So hearing this guy move, I was going to spin around and see he's there. And realising he's got people everywhere, he's going to bonus action Spyglass.
Okay.
Kind of towards this ledge here. It's 30 feet, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
15, 20, 25, yeah.
Yeah, so you're within your reach there.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. So just to get away from everyone. And he's going to look about, and he's going to notice the guy with the crossbow, and be like, if you want to play that game, I'll show you how it's done.
Okay.
So lightning arrows is still active, and where is my dice? 2 shots.
Okay. Roll them up, please.
That is double 16.
So, Havel, you kind of turn around here to see this guy, and you fire off these bolts, and the arrows, sure enough, in mid-flight, kind of assume a lightning form. However, as the arrows or the lightning bolts strike this guy, because he's just landed, he kind of still has his hand on the rock, and as the arrows hit, you actually see. It seems that this guy has grounded himself. The electricity kind of passes into this rock. Doesn't seem to have had any adverse effect on him.
Okay. On a miss, the target still takes half as much damage.
Mm-hmm. So there's still a bit of current, obviously, in those bolts. So it's going to get not the full force. So yeah, just roll normal then.
I was going to say roll 4d8, yeah, instead of
just 4d8.
Yep.
That should do
and
it.
There's no one 10 feet of him. Yeah, that's fine. Should have checked that first. Oh wait, ignore that. Sorry.
Yep.
Unless you really want to... No. There we go. So yeah, 13.
13. So yeah, it's not a big hit to him, especially compared to the earlier strike you hit Alistair with. But you can see that the current still did something to him, and he kind of visibly jolts as these things connect. But he stays on his feet and he manages to keep his footing.
Sick. And then there's a bit of movement. I'll just blop behind the tree.
Cool.
And I'm good. That's my turn.
Rulin.
Okay. Take a step to the right, predicting that Titus may have a certain path that he wants to take, and then stab it at C2.
Mm-hmm. So you may as well roll them both at once.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
Okay, so that's a hit.
Well, I was going to say, well, I don't know. I probably shouldn't have rolled them both at once, but anyway, I guess I was going to say, if I attempt to hit him and then do a stunning strike, my second one would technically be with advantage.
I suppose that is true. Okay, well, it missed as it happens. So
right. So the first one,
we'll give you a hit then. Let's take the 19. So roll the damage for that. And if he's stunned, we'll get you to roll again. If he's not, then we'll go through that one.
4 plus 7, 11.
11 damage. Okay, so again, a kind of a small jab with the spear. It's not a deep wound, but it does go through his robes with quite an easy motion. And you do the stunning strike.
DC 15 con.
Mm-hmm. And it fails, so he is stunned, and roll that second attack again then with advantage.
Let's do just do the 2d8. Or keep the 1 and then roll the second.
Yeah. Well, you're probably going to get better than that, you'd hope.
Alrighty. That's 15 plus... just forgetting it. 26, yeah. 7... 15.
So, kind of drawing back your spear, seeing that he's stunned, you kind of take your time with this blow, and you got to stick this right into this guy's stomach, and you can feel it goes in quite deep here. Yeah, this is clearly going to be a blow that's quite damaging to the guy.
Right. Now, because he's stunned, sorry. That stunning action, I have to like evaluate what I want to do. Is Braxton still down, or is
Braxton's on his feet again. He's got 14 hit points to his name.
I'm prone, right? But I'm stable.
Yeah, you're stable. You're not going to be kind of any risk of death saving throws.
Well, this guy's stunned. Then run around over here. Take up. See.
Okay.
Let's do the first one by itself. Actually,
That's a hit.
Yep. Okay. 6 damage.
6 damage. So the plate armor absorbs the punch quite easily.
And as he's a big foe, I'm going to attempt to knock him prone with a dex save.
Sure.
So that's DC 15 again.
15.
So this is like a well-aimed kick to the back of the knee, trying to.
Yeah. So as he's kind of looking down at Braxton and kind of readying the hammer to kind of put in the killing blow here, Rulin, you kind of coming running quite fast and low around Braxton, and you kind of use this surprise to your advantage and deliver like a sliding kick to this guy's knee. And you can feel that as the kind of knee moves forwards, the weight of the plate armor kind of just makes his fall that little bit faster. And he goes down on his back with a kind of heavy thunk of metal.
Okay. And second attack with advantage. And this is just going to be attempting to bring his foot straight down on the guy's face. Whoa. 10.
So,
and I was like, what?
So you kind of push yourself off with your hands to kind of jump back up onto your feet, and as you kind of land on one foot, you kind of do a full 360 pirouette to get some momentum into it, and then you just bring the heel down onto this guy's face, and you hear this kind of very satisfying crunch as you hear his nose break. He's definitely not going to be as pretty as he once was anymore.
Okay, quite happy.
Mm-hmm. And then Triss and Homunculus.
Torek, how desperate are you need for Homunculus to be up to something?
Not desperate at all. I've used the bonus action already, so it would be a relocational aspect.
Okay.
I can cast touch spells through him, but yeah.
Right, let's see how badly this goes then, if you're alright waiting.
Yeah, sure.
Way to start a turn.
I have a quick query for Crispy in regards to the cultists. The one here, C2, what's he wearing? What's his description?
So he is clad in what appears to be kind of long, flowing black robes. You can see there's some leather reinforcements at kind of critical points around his body. But it appears that he's very lightly armoured here, favouring speed.
Okay, and the fella on the rock, I can't see what number he is now.
You couldn't really tell, but he seems to be wearing, from the way he moves and the fact that he's gone for a shield as well, kind of more what you would describe as medium armour. Okay. So you suspect there's probably a chain shirt under there somewhere.
And the fellow that's stunned here, what effect would that have on casting a spell on him?
So stunned, well, if it's a spell with an attack element to it, you're going to get disadvantage on that.
Okay.
And he's
he's not prone, so
he's not prone. Yeah, so you are going to get the advantage. That's one element to it, and he will auto fail his dex and strength saving throws.
Excellent, Perfect.
And has
That's
no reactions.
just what I wanted. Right, so I'm gonna cast telekinesis on this guy. I'm gonna try and grab him. What needs to happen is it's a contested my spellcasting ability versus his strength check.
Okay, so in this case, he's going to automatically fail that, so it would count as you kind of coming out on top there.
All right, cool. And then I'm gonna pick him up, and then I can move him 30 feet in any direction. 30. These rocks, do they look kind of nasty?
Yeah, some of them have got fairly vicious edges.
All right, I'm gonna pick him up, move him over the rocks as far out into the river as I can go, which I think is about here, and just drop.
Okay, so he is going to drop down there, and he's going to take a D8 of bludgeoning damage from those rocks. So actually, not much. So you know how they say a limp body.
Change that. Could I? I'm gonna keep hold of him, so I'm gonna just smash him into the rocks with a telekinesis.
Yeah, sure. So Tris, for a kind of let's see how strong your telekinetic strength is here. Roll me a D4, and that's going to be the multiplier for a D8 of his damage.
Okay. Nice.
So Tris, you kind of focus here, and you kind of really channel this energy from wherever it is you get it from, and you kind of envisage this guy kind of getting smacked hard against this rock, and you see he's kind of brought over here and slams down into this rock. So he's going to take 3d8 there.
Super. And then I keep on subsequent rounds I can use my action to attempt to maintain grip with him by repeating the contest. So at the moment he's still held.
Yeah, so he's taken 9 damage from that beating there. Very cool.
If you do release it at any point, he's going straight.
He's also in the middle of the river, so that's going to cause him at least some difficulty, I'd hope.
Because it's holding on to water.
At this point, my thoughts are, because you've kept hold of him, he's actually not gone into the river. He's just basically been smacked into these rocks and then kind of bounced up a little bit for you to try again next turn.
Yeah.
Rather than him being in the river. That was kind of my take on that situation.
Yeah, the aim was more drop him onto the rocks, get some rock damage, and then if I let go of him, he's in the middle of the river, and he's got that to contend with.
Mm-hmm. Very useful, very cool use of that ability. Good thinking on using it on the guy who's stunned.
Super. Right, that's me.
Okay, yeah, cool. No movement in that, in which case brings us to Homunculus. Anything you want him to do, Guy?
Not overtly. I guess I could try and lock down Alistair. Yeah, I'll move him across here so I can still cast touch spells on Braxton, and I'll use the dodge action with him again. So he's there again, being annoying, and can I take opportunity attacks with him? I'm guessing so. Anyway,
he's a construct, so no.
Ah, okay. Does that mean zombies don't get zombies counted as constructs? I'm crossing rules between games. Sorry, I think that's me.
I think they're more undead. Constructs in this tend to be like Warforged or automatons.
Spiritual weapons.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Cool. So yeah, you keep him kind of buzzing within emergency range of Braxton, but it starts making kind of these beeping and flashes at Alistair.
Excellent.
Cool. So Braxton, you're back on your feet. You're back in the realm of the living. you can kind of start to feel your strength returning. You're kind of down on a knee, so you'll have to get up before you do anything. But you are feeling like a bit of vengeance.
Certainly am. Health potions, action or bonus action?
That is officially an action, which makes sense, I guess, because you're going to need 2 hands to uncork it and chug it.
Yeah. Right then. I'm actually going to lay it on hands myself, which I think is an action as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to use, let's see, I'll use 30 of the 45 available. Just to get my
brings
health
you up to a nice 44. So you can't say a quick prayer and steady yourself, and you feel your resolve strengthen again.
Damn it, I made a joke about I was going to do that to myself later, but I was muted.
We're on hand. I don't think there's much else for me to do in terms of bonus actions. Look.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. That's it. I'm just ready for when this guy stands up, so I can give him a pummeling.
So that's kind of what he's going to attempt now. So he's going to stand back up and use that amount of his movement. I mean, he's going to actually, not really knowing that you've just kind of regained that amount of health. He thinks you're an easy finish here, so he's going to divert his attention to Rulin. You kind of see him as he gets up. He swings with his hammer in your direction. So roll those both together. So what's that? 3 and a 9. So that is going to be 1 hit and 1 miss. So let me roll that up for you. So this plus 5, so 11 bludgeoning damage and 5 cold, so 16 damage to you there, Rulin.
And I will use my reaction of the spear to binding.
So what's the DC for that?
Constitution 50.
15 con, okay. So you, as this hammer comes down, you kind of sense sprawling back a couple of feet. It wasn't enough to really do significant damage or break anything, but you could tell that is going to leave a bruise that's going to be there for a while. But you wave this spear in front of this guy's eyes and flashes. But you see him kind of stop, and it prevents him kind of really following up and delivering any more hammer blows, but he kind of steadies himself quite quickly. It seems that it hasn't really had the effect he wanted. Alrighty, that brings us back round to Alistair. Triss, you're kind of the closest who's not really engaged, so you kind of hear him mutter to himself, like, this isn't working. Boys! Have a roll me a perception.
I'll roll it for him. He's just on.
Okay.
That's right. No, I'm on my way back. I can do it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh yeah, definitely ignore that one.
Because we shouldn't last our roll for people. I thought we'd learned this lesson, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't let me trick your dice for anybody. It's not hard.
While we're there as well, I just want to point out, when I did that foot stomp, I had in my mind, like, you know, that anime style where they lift the foot up and then they bring it, like, slamming down. But so when I Googled anime heel stomp, wow, I found some fucking weird shit.
Yeah, I bet.
That was a 19, by the way.
So Havel, you kind of hear this whistle, and you've been around enough animal handlers to know that he's probably not signaling to other humanoids here. As you kind of turn and scan the forest, you kind of see this kind of rustling of kind of the undergrowth. And as this rustling gets closer, you can start to see that there's a very faint, but very clear couple of images bounding towards you guys.
Uh-oh.
Not these nasty puppies!
Ah, fuck.
So,
Was the thing that was summoning them a magical effect?
well, Tarek, you don't know. You're a fish.
I'm not a literal fish. I'm talking about features. And this is an important question.
Roll me an Arcana.
Underwater.
Instead of unearthed arcana, underwater arcana.
18.
18. So you kind of get this through the homunculus's kind of sensors here. But it seems that these kind of dogs have definitely reacted to a certain proponent of that whistle that you suspect had something more to it than just being an auditory note.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Anyway, I'll roll their initiative. So bear with me on that. Okay. So yeah, Havel, you kind of see these creatures bounding out of the woods. It doesn't look like anybody else has realised this just yet, because you're obviously on the elevated ground up here. And yeah, these bring back some memories, not all of them pleasant. Okay, so having done that, Alice is actually going to look into the river. He's going to roll a perception check to try and find Torek in there. So what's that going to be? In fact, let's do that contested. Torek, roll me a stealth.
That is an 11.
So Torek, because you're kind of treading water here at the surface, Alistair sees you a little further downstream. But he's going to come after you, so he's going to take a little bit of a walk here, and he's actually going to attack you with his flail, but he seems to be doing it with a bit more care than before. So the first one, you manage to duck, and this this flail kind of goes past you, and you can see it knock a chunk out of the rock behind you. He's kind of frustrated by this, but now that the flail's in the water, he kind of whips it back for his second attack. And that one is going to hit. So let me work out what you need to take from that. Okay, so this +4. They're +4. So 14 damage there, Torek, leaving you with 4 temporary hit points left.
Awesome, thank you.
And then I'm going to need you to make me a strength saving throw.
Sure, let me just change these notes.
Mm-hmm.
Strength saving throw. No modifier. It is a 9. Oh, +5. I'm going to flash a genius hit because that sounds dangerous.
Okay, so 14.
Mm-hmm.
So, Torek, you kind of feel this chain kind of come in, and you can see that this, to paint a picture kind of out of your character's knowledge, this wire seems to be kind of laced with the same kind of blades you'd see atop a razor wire fence. And this kind of digs into your kind of right lower calf. You know, this hurts, and you can kind of see a bit of blood bellowing out into the water. But before you really have time to focus on this, the kind of ball of the flail wraps itself around your ankle, and you feel a very sharp tug. And Alistair has actually kind of yanked you out of this river.
He's manhandling me, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And because you're not actually all too heavy, he's able to kind of pull you out quite quickly. And he expertly grasps you in his free hand as you come out of the river. And as he looks in your eyes, he goes, "This will do nicely. It's been a while since I've had a catch of a day like this." And that pun is going to do psychic damage to Rusty. And that's going to be his turn. So Titus, you're up.
So I can see Torek in his hand here.
You can, yes.
So I see Trish smashing the guy there. I see the hounds. I don't like the hounds, but these guys are kicking his ass pretty well. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like to think Titus looks over, sees Trish smashing him against the rock, and just goes.
Waits patiently for his turn.
Titus is gonna run up here.
Mm-hmm.
And while Alistair's holding Torek in his hand, Titus is going to bring the great axe down on his arm.
Okay. Roll.
Raging and reckless,
Yep.
of course. Of course.
The Titus special.
But of course. Oh, give me a crit, please! That is 16.
So as he sees you coming here, and the axe coming down, Alistair kind of very heartlessly kind of turns Torek around to be directly in the path of this axe blade. Titus, you see it, and you kind of use your strength to kind of yank at the handle and pull the axe down. Torek, you see this kind of flash as this obsidian axe edge narrowly misses, giving you a kind of a shorter beard than you would have liked. And it kind of clashes down into the ground before Titus pulls it up for another go.
This time I'm going to go for his head.
Mm-hmm.
You should have gone for the head. Oh, please. 22.
So that is a hit.
Okay. This will just be D12 plus 10. Sorry, plus 9. 20
so
damage.
20 damage to him. Okay.
My con check
Mm-hmm.
is pass.
Okay. So he's kind of expecting a second attack, but Titus being quite big, you're able to get this hefty axe up faster than he was really thinking a great weapon would recover. And you kind of catch him kind of across the forehead. You can see it's not a deep enough wound to really cause him any serious trouble, but it bleeds quite quickly. Torek, you use this as a bit of a chance to try and get away, so I want you to roll me a acrobatics check, please.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to my once per day. Oh, I was going to say
Unnatural 20.
Doesn't matter.
Unnatural 20. So Torek,
Sorry, I tossed the dice before you could do anything.
That's all right. That's all right. It works. So you kind of see that Alistair is distracted as Titus puts his axe in, and you use that to kind of just reach out and slap him across the face with your webbed hand. It doesn't really do much in terms of damage, but like it causes him, that and the axe between it gives you that opportunity you were kind of hoping for here. And he drops you as you're kind of causing him trouble. And he drops you to the ground. You're able to kind of keep your footing on the cliff next to him here, kind of on the cliff edge there.
Oh shit!
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So unless Titus has got anything else he wants to do.
Nope. That's all I got. I should probably get going on that note as well.
Okay.
But I give control of Titus to.
Not me.
Yeah, don't let Pascal roll.
Let's give Titus to. Let's give him to Jason, because Jason will be nice and reckless with him. Thanks, buddy.
I hope you weren't too attached.
Thanks, man. Bye, guys.
Alright,
See ya.
See you later, mate.
Sweet jazz.
Let me get Titus's thingy. Oh, yeah, carry on. I've got that ready now.
Okay, so kind of with a bit more breathing room now, Titus isn't really affecting him. This cultist who is stuck in the rock is going to actually stay on that rock. He quite likes it there. And seeing how his mate has just been fairly soundly beaten against a rock, he's actually going to take a few shots at you with his crossbow, Triss. So I'll roll those together.
That seems fair.
And they both miss. One of them...
You need to take a
so-
concentration check if he misses his attack roll.
No, you don't. It's only if you take damage.
Cool.
So as he takes aim there and fires, the first one misses. As he's kind of trying to reload the second one, crossbow's a two-handed weapon, so he takes his hand off the rock to steady him. So he's going to actually fall a little bit there. Of course, I can't actually select the damn thing now for whatever reason.
He fell so hard the rock snapped in two.
For whatever reason, it's not letting me select that.
Oh, I think that's because I did the attach thing on him.
Oh, okay. You need to just undo that for me then.
It's a bit like Cultist Island out there at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I can't remember how to do it now.
Get me out of here.
Sorry.
Um,
I didn't mean to.
Did you attach him to the board?
Might have done. Just to keep him floating there, but now I can't figure out how to undo it.
How has he achieved flight?
Torek must know. But basically, what I was going for is he slips over and kind of splashes into the river. So he's going to stay there for now. But he will be at risk of movement if we actually figure out how to make him move again.
Until then, he's
until then, he is just at the base of this rock, but now in the water. So you kind of got away a little bit easy there, Triss. So you kind of thank your lucky stars, or well, in this case, maybe lucky stars isn't the right word.
Lucky rocks.
I was thinking due to the nature of your patron.
Oh yeah, actually.
But you thank your lucky void, and he is now not an immediate threat to you there at all.
There we go, done it.
Ah, perfect, cheers. So yeah, Cultist 2, he is still stunned at this point in time. So he's not going to get to contest that role of being whacked against a rock.
The mental picture I'm painting for it is just so brilliant.
Yeah.
Suspended through the air, semi-conscious, just being smashed against the rock.
Which probably isn't helping the fact that he's trying to recover from being stunned.
And he's got a big gut wound as well.
Yeah. So just like blood sprinkling out anywhere. Okay, so Torek, you are kind of now down out of Alistair's grip, but you are still very much in the danger zone.
Cool. I need to ask a little something because I've just read some fine print to do with Homie.
Okay.
Turns out Homie does not have his own part of the initiative tracker. He takes his turn immediately after me. Should we keep it how it is in this encounter?
I think for this encounter we'll do that, but future encounters we'll do them on yours.
Cool. Yeah,
just
wondering. Yeah,
just so we don't get any more.
Sorry,
more
homunculus is such a weird concept. I've never had to deal with anything like that in D&D, so
I think as long as it's consistent during each encounter, it's not
it
huge
doesn't
thing.
affect this encounter too much because all he's done is positioning, so it literally would have been the same output anyway, really.
Yeah.
It's
So
just, I
yeah,
guess,
we'll keep it as it is for now, and then in future encounters we'll
Awesome.
go back to doing it on you.
cool. I am going to actually do a bit of a cheeky thing. Alistair fished me out the water and said a horrific pun, and I feel like giving one back. I'm going to go, well, this fish fights back! And I'm going to activate a spell.
Mhm.
The boomer blade on my arm will change its shaping so that 2 blades are facing forward and 1 folds away. I'm then going to strike the 2 blades with my shield as it resonates like a tuning fork.
Okay.
This reacts with the ruby of the war mage in it, and magically enhances it, causing it to vibrate and heat up really quick. The law of resonance says that when one object resonates at a certain frequency, something else will resonate at the same pitch if they are near each other. So, as Alistair kicked me, I heard the composition of his foot pauldrons. I'm going to cast heat metal on his feet.
Okay. So you kind of get this tune to the frequency and the pitch that you want to. And it kind of gives out this. It's not like a loud noise particularly, but it's quite kind of low pitched but constant vibration and kind of really kind of like a throbbing sound. And you watch as Alistair's boots start to. You can see they start to take on at first a dull kind of red. They gradually kind of start to increase in their temperature from what you can see, and he doesn't. He doesn't see this coming, and so you can see this is clearly taken him off guard. And he starts kind of hopping about between his feet, like clearly trying to escape from this rising temperature in his boots, but seems to be finding no relief from that.
Awesome. I'm then going to use a bonus action to teleport 15 feet, and I'm going to try and put myself on top of this bit here. Do you reckon that's 15 feet? Or
yeah, that'd be 15 feet. Just keep yourself there. We get the point. And also roll 2d8 fire damage for Alistair.
Yes, will do. As soon as someone can get that right. Why don't you try the water? It's nice and cool. Okay, so that's 15 fire damage.
15 fire damage to him. Okay, so Alistair's boots, you can see they're causing him a fairly significant amount of pain. As you would expect, he is, this is a hot temperature, and he's, despite his tiefling ancestry, he is not. Don't connect it; he won't be able to move again. Just keep him where he is. We'll know. Despite his tiefling ancestry, you can see that he is still hurting from this.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I didn't consider the fact that he might have resistance. All right. Moving on then.
Okay. So yeah, you hop across that. I'm going to need you to make an athletics check for me to kind of get. Oh no, you teleported. You didn't leap. You're good.
Nice.
Cool. That will bring us on to Hal and his new canine companions.
Yeah, Havel's like, fuck this shit. So first thing he's gonna do is just like immediately, before he even thinks about anything, he's gonna be like, 10, 15. It puts me about here. Try and rejoin the rest of them.
So Tris, you see a very concerned-looking Hal very quickly slide down this embankment and kind of make good pace into the middle of the road. He looks concerned, but you're not entirely sure why just yet.
I don't have any other bonus actions, so as a bonus action, can I just kind of shout, be like, "Don't!" Let people know that we've got some big woofs.
Okay, so yeah, you guys, you suspect that he probably doesn't mean regular dogs. Your average Labrador doesn't strike this much fear into a seasoned ranger. You would hope. But you can see Havel seems to think this is going to be an issue.
And then as he's sprinting this way, he's now seeing this guy, as well as Cultist 2, just slammed against this rock.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I am going to query, because of the way it's worded, with that, anything within 10 feet, is that per shot?
Yeah, it will be.
Okay, and how far away are these two guys?
Like
Roughly?
5 foot apart, and not much.
Ah, perfect. So first thing I'll do, 2 shots on Cultist 3, because I've already hit him.
Okay, so he's in the water. So take your shots at him.
Okay. So yeah, I said 27 and a 25.
So 2 hits.
Okay, so that's 88 again. Alright. 41 damage.
So you put these bolts into this guy, and because he's in the water, you see sparks and electricity just shoot out around him in this water. You can see him kind of convulsing, uncontrollably here. Steam is rising from the river. A couple of fish, like a few trout, float up to the surface, also steaming. And then after the kind of electricity fades, you just see this guy kind of drift away from this rock face down in the river and begin drifting further and further downstream.
Sick. So there's 2 things I want to do. So do you want to do
The deck saves for him? Well, he auto fails those because he's stunned still.
Oh, right, okay, so he's going to take 4d8.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I've done that, I'm going to use Horde Breaker to do the extra attack on anyone within 5 feet of your target.
Okay.
So
God damn, that's a hell of a combo.
Yeah.
25.
So 25 damage to him. So yeah, this guy being kind of suspended in the air doesn't take the kind of same amount of damage as this guy who's been basically covered in conducting fluid. But you can see that he's clearly still singed. And then roll me the next attack with advantage because he's stunned. And it's a crit.
So that's 8d8.
8d8 damage again. So kind of having... in fact, roll damage first, and we'll give the narrative.
Just in case, 39.
39.
How?
So having Triss pretty much dangling this guy in front of you, Havel, you treat yourself. You take the time to line up this lightning bolt directly at his center of mass. And sure enough, you strike true exactly where you aim. You can kind of see sparks erupting from his extremities here, so like his ears and his fingertips are shooting lightning out a little bit. He doesn't seem to be dead, but he is not looking healthy right now as Triss kind of suspends him by his ankle above this rock.
God damn. Cool. That's me done. 105 damage later.
Ruin.
How many casts of that do you get?
It's concentration.
I get 2, and it lasts 1 minute. Yeah.
Shit.
So 2 per day, and then.
So it's your turn. So he finally, after a fairly bad time of it, is not stunned anymore. You're up.
Well, technically, actually, it's the end of my next turn, so he is still stunned for the duration, but I'm not going to attack him. So, yeah, C1. Let's go for yield spear attack.
Mm-hmm.
25.
Here's a hit.
8 plus 7. 11 damage.
That's 11 damage.
How many key points have I got left? 4. I mean, what kind of? Well, I've lost track of how much damage you've actually dealt to this guy. But what's he looking like?
So he still seems to be doing okay. His plate is holding up. He's still swinging that hammer pretty vigorously
with his broken arms. All right, yeah, stunning strike. Fuck it. DC 15.
Okay, so DC 15.
Constitution, probably not a great idea. This guy's probably got a good constitution.
But not quite enough. So you kind of go for the only bit of flesh that's really exposed, which is his face, and kind of give him an upwards palm strike to his chin. It seems to do the trick.
Or if we're keeping it with the spear, maybe it's more of like the heel of the spear into the.
Oh yeah, I
his
suppose.
face.
Yeah, it's not flurry of blows, was it? It's his spear.
Okay. Second attack with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
26. Yep.
Here's a hit.
D8 plus 7. 13.
13. So yeah, now that he's kind of dazed, it's easier to position the spear to kind of get the effect you want. And you've managed to find a gap in between two joinings of his plate to stick the spear in a little deeper.
So now that this guy's kind of reeling from those couple of blows, Roland hears Havel shouting dogs and will turn around to take in his surroundings.
Mm-hmm. So Wooden, you're a little bit down, kind of from an elevation perspective for these dogs, so you can't quite see them, but you can kind of hear. You're close enough to hear the undergrowth being kind of knocked aside as these things charge into the fray.
Okay. It's the demon dogs. Like, make it a bit clearer. It's Alistair, It makes it. He could be calling the demon dog. I would have been able to get all that out. I don't know.
Yeah,
with my knowledge of Alistair, it's going to be the demon dogs, And shit. I'll leave this guy to Braxton. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave him to Braxton, and I'll make my way around to Alistair. Give him a good old love tap with a flurry of blows.
Okay.
First attack is a 21.
There's a miss.
Miss. Damn. Okay, second attack. Fuck, 21 again.
So you try and punch this guy's plate, but unlike the kind of lackey of his, the craftsmanship is just another level here. You don't find any of the weaknesses you'd usually go for when targeting a heavy armor user.
Okay. Yep, that's it.
Okay. So the first of these two dogs kind of bounding onto the field. It sees what's going on, and it obviously recognizes the cultist. And it is going to kind of do a running leap onto you here, Braxton, being the closest target. The long-suffering stalwart that is Braxton.
Sorry, Rich. I should have paid attention to the next on the initiative roll. I didn't realise. I should have stayed there.
However, being quite big, you hear it coming, Braxton. So as it leaps over the edge here, you bring your shield up and you feel the kind of fairly substantial impact of these paws as they land on it. And you expertly maneuver your shield to bring this thing down to your size, and you push your longsword into this thing's flank as it goes by. So roll me a kind of a damage for an attack.
Nice. 12 damage.
12 damage. So you hear a yelp as this thing... I mean, it's a strange thing. You've obviously not seen these before, and it doesn't seem to be entirely corporeal, but your longsword seems to have done some harm to it there, which is nice.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So that's that one. Triss and the homunculus.
Does Homie have anything he would like to do?
Ooh.
Fucking hell. Here we go.
Huh. Yes. He dodges and waits for his master's orders.
Okay, so the homunculus follows Titus and Rulin on their offensive, and kind of in between them is biding his time, shall we say.
Yes.
Okay, in that case, what I'll do is lift up the second cultist as far as I can, which I think if I want to
So-
get hold of him would be 15 foot, because I want to drag him back down.
Yeah, so he's not stunned anymore, so that is going to be contested again. So what stat was it?
Strength.
Strength, right? Okay, so what's that? Cultist 2. So that's 3 to beat. Okay, so you maintain your grasp on him. He's had a rough day. He's not feeling too hot right now.
Also, with the telekinesis, if I keep hold of him, it's classed as restrained.
Right. Okay.
Senses.
Sure. So yeah. So you maintain that hold firmly on him.
We'll do another rock slam with him.
Sure. Roll a d4 to determine the multiplier. So you feel the kind of the energy waning a little bit. You've obviously been channeling quite a substantial amount of force to keep him aloft and then slammed so viciously. So it's not quite as brutal as the first time, but it's still reasonably brutal. And Triss, as the in fact, no. How do you want to do it?
Oh, Triss knows that he's kind of struggling a little bit still from Havel's last shot. He's not quite with it. It doesn't look like he's, stunned in the same way, but he's not healthy. So when Triss gets him up to the full height she can reach, she's going to try and tilt him so he's going down head first, and she's going to try and do a solid head injury on the pointiest corner of rock she can find, and she just lets him slam down with his full body weight.
Mm-hmm. So Havel, kind of watching this, you see this guy kind of flailing after your arrows, and then could you be imagining it, or was that a kind of appendage that seems to wrap around this guy's torso and kind of bind his arms to his side before sending him hurtling down against this rock? And as you watch in kind of horror, the image I want to put into your minds is like a watermelon being dropped from a significant altitude. That's kind of what happens to this guy as he makes impacts face first with this rock for a second time. And as he hits, the rest of his body seems to go limp, as if a the hand has released it from a hold, and he, like his comrades,
Actually,
starts floating down the river.
could I keep hold of him?
You, yeah, you know what? Sure. You can definitely keep hold of him.
Cool.
You would still have that
Assessing,
concentration.
classes as an object.
Well, yes, I suppose from a philosophical point of view, he probably does.
He's not a person anymore. He's just
Fucking meat fucking club now.
Thanks.
Okay, so Triss, you are now in possession of a yes, to borrow Havel's very poetic phrase, a meat club. Alrighty, so I hope nobody was hoping to sleep tonight, and
Tarek starts taking notes.
Onto Braxton.
To me, indeed. Wow. What to do? I think with the addition of 2 more dogs, I'm gonna have to put up that shield again.
Okay.
So that's +2 AC. It's sort of a level 1 spell slot.
Mm-hmm. So the blue glow returns to Braxton. As you can see, he's gathering his strength around him once more.
Kame. Oh, sorry, wrong.
Say Braxton? Sorry, I meant Gohan.
Secretly all along. Yeah, let's just go in for the 2 attacks against C1.
Sure. So not one to pass up on an opportunity so ably presented to you. You kind of eye up this stunned cultist, and you can see that he's not on his guard for an incoming attack. So roll me 2 with advantage.
Number 1 is a. Let me check. I think it's an 18. Yeah, 18.
18. So that one, you strike. But the plate is actually quite thick. Seems to be military grade. You notice, not the stuff that mercenaries tend to wear, which is surprising to you.
And that second one's
the second one, yeah, you take this into account and go for the point between his where his kind of leg armor joins the torso, which is as you expect, even on good quality armor, that tends to be thinner to allow for momentum and movement in combat. So the sword tip quite easily finds a gap in there, and you feel the rings of chain rupturing as you drive this in with force. So roll me the damage, please.
And I'm out for blood now, so this is a level 2 smite.
Okay.
So I'll do the regular damage first.
Yep.
Nice. 12.
On point with those so far.
Then the smite is nice, 13.
13. Okay. So this guy is a fairly big chap, but you could see that this has really knocked a chunk out of him. You knew from the feel of it that was a solid blow, and to add to the sword blow, you then use the fury of your gods to come down and punish this sinner. So you can see he's not looking too good. Alrighty, and the second dog, who is, having seen Havel run away, is just eyeing you up as if you were a juicy steak hit Havel. So it should come as no surprise that this dog is going to kind of make a leaping attack at you.
No, that one.
So that is going to be, let me work that out, 18. So unfortunately for you, that matches your AC. So he's going to roll 1d8 plus 4 piercing and 2d8 psychic. You have no resistance, so I'll roll them all as 1. So 15 damage to Havel. And I'm going to need you to make a concentration check for me.
Absolutely. What's the DC on there?
Let me work that out real quick. Okay, what is it? So it's DC 10 or half the damage taken, whichever is higher. So it's going to be a DC 10 one for you.
DC 10. Very good.
Should probably put it down somewhere.
And is it con?
It is, yes.
I don't know. I'm asking. I have a +0 on it.
Ooh.
Mother.
So your lightning arrows are going to be just all regular arrows.
within 10 feet.
Oh
yeah.
no, that's true. He is. In which case, you're okay. Your lightning
Sick.
arrows stay intact.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Paladins, good to have around.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna love me when I start firing arrows within 10 feet of him, though.
Wow, that is true. Okay, so yeah, you managed to keep your focus up, but you feel that bite is quite nasty in and of itself. But you feel this like just impending sense of doom, kind of seep into you momentarily before you kind of bring yourself back into the present. Okay. And Cultist 1 is now very dead, I think. Oh, no, he's not. He's stunned. Getting my Cultist mixed up again. So, no turn for him. In fact, let me tidy up some of this board here. Alrighty.
We've worked that out well, taking out the two guys highest up on the initiative.
Yeah, it's almost like you planned it.
One.
Yeah, definitely planned.
Alrighty, so Alistair, you guys notice, seems to be eyeing up his situation here. He doesn't seem to be too keen on what's happening. So as you guys watch, he kind of takes a few paces and then jumps towards these rocks with Torek on. So Rulin and Titus roll an attack of opportunity.
Aye.
Fuck off.
Didn't play much better.
So with his kind of superior armor holding up against these blows, he kind of leaps across the rock to Torek there, where he's going to actually make an attempt to grab you, Torek. So it's going to be another contested strength roll, if you please.
These always go well for me.
Oh!
Yes, they do.
Okay. So he tries to grab you but as he's going, you can see that he's fairly confident of grabbing you in the first place anyway. So in his other hand, he is kind of making some gestures, and you see this kind of doorway split just above the river's surface, quite similar to what you've seen Triss use before. You notice.
Indoor.
Yeah, and he reaches out to kind of try and pull you into this with him. One of the unexpected side effects of your trout-like potion is you've noticed that your skin has started to secrete this fairly slimy substance. And as he kind of grabs your forearm, you kind of yank it away from him. And whilst you're not a particularly strong chap necessarily, I think that's it's not an unfair assessment to make. This slime kind of facilitates you pulling your hand away before he manages to kind of really get a grip on you. So you stay on your rock and you watch as Alistair kind of plummets into this this doorway, which promptly seals up behind him.
Bastard.
So Alistair is no longer on the field, but Torek still is.
Would we recognise the spell? Well, the rest of us standing around because we've seen Triss cast it.
Yeah, I think it would be fair to say that you'd probably recognise that as a dimension door.
And then knowing the limitations, we can safely say he's still in the general vicinity.
500 feet, isn't it?
500 feet in an unknown direction.
Or
Cool.
down.
Could I roll an Arcana because I saw the portal open? Could I have seen what was on the other side and trying to do where he was going?
Yes, yeah, you can, sure.
I can see where this is going. You saw trees.
Oh, sick. 27.
So Rudin is right in the sense that you did see trees, but you also saw some horses, and you counted 4 of them.
Hmm.
He's making a roll. Sorry.
Yeah, he's making a runner.
Motherfucker.
But that spell isn't going to be broken. He didn't hit me. Concentration isn't broken.
He didn't,
I'm going to keep his feet hot.
which is true, but now he's, you assume, probably got the time on his hands to take those off.
Yes. But I'm going to make taking them off as painful as possible for him.
Which I'm sure he will remember.
Yes, I'm sure he will.
It's like
Okay,
a
so,
Telltale Games. Just Alistair remembers that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Every night when he's rubbing ointment into his poor burnt.
he's a tiefling, I'm sure. Get over it. Titus is up. And obviously has just seen Alistair disappear, which is no doubt frustrating for Titus.
Indeed.
Especially seeing as he missed his opportunity attack as well.
So, a couple of things I'm going to clarify. Has Titus taken any damage since we started?
No, he hasn't.
No, alright, just wanted to double check. And with Rage, is it only if you hit? Like his last attack was a miss on his last turn.
So if it goes for a round where Titus either doesn't take any damage or doesn't inflict any, then his rage comes to an end.
Right, okay. So first thing I'll have to do then is you use the rage as a bonus action.
Mhm.
As I look around with Alistair gone, Titus is going to see these two on Braxton, and he's just going to like absolutely bomb it
Pile
towards
in.
shortest one.
Sure. So he's still stunned, so you'll get advantage of that.
Ah, cool. Guess I don't really need to go reckless then. And he's still got his +2 great axe out. I'm feeling it. He's going to keep it out.
Sure.
So, is that advantage on both attacks?
It will be, yes.
Right, okay, so I'll do the first one. Oh, so close to 20. That's good.
That's a hit.
Yeah.
And just do a second attack, and then we can do damage together if necessary. And another hit.
Nice.
Okay,
if you would have got a crit on Titus when Chaz wasn't here, he would have been fuming.
It would have been great.
Only.
So that's 2d12 plus 12. Plus, doesn't it get a bonus for being a
6.
strength weapon? Yeah, plus 3 melee for each attack. So, first one is 2d12 plus 24, then, isn't it?
Mhm.
A bonus. Yeah, cool. So, 34.
24 damage. So it's a series of
28?
Is it?
which one?
No, it's not.
So-
It's
So it'll
12
be 10,
times.
10 plus 12, 22, then plus 6 because he gets plus 3 twice for each attack.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Okay, 28. So yeah, it's a fierce assault from Titus, and you can see that like this axe is again coming down on the plate, and it is leaving dents. It hasn't managed to pierce it, and because he only had 2 hits, I'm going to need 2 Constitution rolls from Titus, DC 15.
Yeah.
He stood next to Braxton, so he gets the bonus.
Oh yeah, I'll just roll them both together though. We'll see.
So 1 fail.
One fail.
D-
one fail, 1 pass.
2d6 necrotic. 4 necrotic damage to Titus. That's not much. But you watch. In fact, Braxton, roll me a religion.
That's 8.
8. So you can't put your finger on what exactly about this axe makes you uneasy, but kind of a look in Titus's eye definitely makes you suspect there is something deeply, deeply wrong with this weapon. But it does seem to be working at what it's supposed to be doing, and Titus has laid down some pain there. Tarek, you're up.
I am going to use my bonus action to keep Alistair hot on his heels.
Okay,
Did you get the joke?
I got the joke.
Good. And then I've got a little something to admit. I was just reading through some small print because I was thinking to myself, with the homunculus, was there any other small print I missed? Yes, there was.
You need to read the terms and conditions.
No, there's just so many. I'm sorry. Yeah, my teleporty boots have a side effect in which I can only teleport to a space I've stepped in before.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, which I just wanted to say, I'm sorry I didn't know about that.
Well, that's okay. We know now.
I think most of the times you've used it probably applies, doesn't it?
Well, that'll be an interesting constraint to it, actually.
Yeah, it means I can't use it as I have done in this combat and been engaging.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's not a huge issue at the moment. I mean, like the one that mattered wasn't. It was like a strength saving throw which you passed, so I'm not gonna kick up too much of a fuss about that. But we'll know for next time.
I reckon that rule's more in
will.
place, so you can't just skip puzzle rooms.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that anyway. I like puzzles.
I like that. Yeah, Tarek does have the capability of skipping it, but he won't. He just wants to
exactly. It's a character flaw. Yeah. Sees every and all puzzles as a challenge to his intellect. Like, will flat out refuse to ignore or bypass them. Cool. But it is your turn still.
Cool. I am then going to. I guess I could do something about cultist number 2 here.
Well, that is Triss's meat club at the moment.
Oh yes, he is currently. He's. Oh dear.
He had an X-head. He's not causing us any more issues.
This isn't cultist. I'm apprehensive to cast any spells because it means I'd have to give up the concentration on Alistair, and I think it's going to take him more than 6 seconds to take off those boots.
You can keep it up as long as you don't cast a concentration spell.
Yeah, you can use instant action spells, no problems.
Really?
Yeah, concentrations are only a problem for other concentrations.
Although
it's basically just a way to fuck with the druid class, seeing as every fucking spell almost is a concentration spell.
That's very often. Thank you for letting me know.
I'm gonna check your fine print though to make sure that there isn't a.
Yeah, I need to redo another load of fine print.
If he's 500 feet away and you're still keeping him.
Yeah, Tarek doesn't like concentration as long.
Just imagining a big legal battle with the manufacturer of this homunculus because Tarek's just been abusing terms and conditions.
Yeah. There's no way.
Crossover session, anybody?
Objection.
All right. You know what?
No, I kind of need you to tell me.
Is anyone hurt? I've been trying to keep it's Braxton who's the most hurt, really, still, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing okay over here.
How much health is Braxton?
Yeah, Trish has had an amazing time here. She's just been beating things against rocks. It's just
throwing things around. Nobody's hit her very
having a bit of a tantrum, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Braxton's on 44 out of 85.
How about we try one of my new spells?
Just saying. No. If someone needs healing, yeah.
I'm gonna cast Mass Healing Word just to get everyone up to a healthy amount for fighting these dogs.
The Yendorn special.
This one's for you, buddy.
Is your mass healing word Yendorn's laugh?
Just holding up the purple powder.
3 plus what is that?
13 health. Everyone restores 13 health.
13 health. Okay, so
Thanks.
it's pretty good for you guys.
Very good.
Brings Titus back to full.
And I guess I could like jump from this rock and try and swim back up the toward allies.
So if you just want to hop across that, that'll be a fairly simple athletics check, please.
Yeah, fairly simple. What could go wrong? Oh.
Yeah, so you make it. You make it across.
Awesome. I'll have my turn there. I'm pretty happy with that. Oh my god, mass healing word's a bonus action?
Sure is.
What? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, jeez. I could throw my boomer blade, but I don't currently have it enchanted to fly back, so that would be poor. So I think I'm going to end my turn instead.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you hop across quite back, Ruland. You notice he lands with a bit of a slap as his webbed feet hit the surface of the.
Well, I've probably not seen him in this condition since he fell into the river. So
Yeah, he's kind of got a few minor alterations, but you're not really surprised at this point.
I mean, it's historic.
It's just Tarek. Okay. Havel.
Okay. There's a couple of things I was thinking of. Just out of curiosity, if you wanted to, can you just like end a spell at any point, or is that an action? Or
If it's the concentration, then yeah, you can.
Okay.
It's like dropping a weapon. Or a beat.
It's dropping a beat in the middle of fucking yeah. Why not?
Hey, are you familiar with the entire subclass of class of bard?
Okay, yeah, you're not wrong. Oh, fucking hell. So I don't particularly want to stay next to this guy, but
I wouldn't either. I mean, you have got short swords, though.
Might actually use them. Haven't rusted into the sheaths.
I was gonna say, did he even pull out anymore?
Hey.
No, I don't. What would switching weapons be classed as? Is that
Bonus action to swap weapons, so to put a bow away and draw your weapons.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take some risks here. I'm going to move away.
So he's going to make an attack of opportunity.
I'm going to use my once per day, make it a disadvantage.
Okay, so 9 and.
Don't be less.
Oh! Okay, so 9 plus 9, that's still an 18 actually. So you're going to take that, I'm afraid, Aval.
And not metagaming at all, because I'm looking at Titus's fucking sheet at the moment. Something that I've literally like only ever seen Charles use like twice, which still confuses me because I don't know how often he gets to use it. Where is it? Spirit Shield.
Oh, reduce other people's damage.
Yeah, anyone within 30 feet.
Oh, yeah, he
Is
can
that
use
like
that as use that as just reaction. I think it is, isn't it? The writing of that.
Yeah, I think so.
Which, unfortunately for you, Titus used his reaction to make an opportunity attack against Alistair earlier this round.
Good point. Yeah, never mind. I'll take the damage.
Okay, so it's 15 damage in total.
15.
He's down to
Puts me back
24, isn't it?
to where I was anyway, yeah.
Okay, so I'm also going to need you to make a concentration saving throw again, DC 10. You are outside of Braxton's range now.
Choose to fail that? Because
You
I
can,
wanted to end lightning arrows anyway.
Okay, so you drop that. You don't try and concentrate. The impending sense of doom is now getting a bit stronger.
Let's not fry all my friends while I'm doing this. So what I'm gonna do, put myself there. Cultist 1, because he's already pretty bloodied. Bonus action will be Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
And standard, I will take Dose Shotos.
Sure.
With standard arrows.
Yep. Bear advantage, so that's 6 plus whatever your modifiers for your first shot.
12, 18.
That's a miss.
It's the first time I've ever seen you miss in a long time.
And then 20.
It is also a miss. So you kind of try and slot these arrows between Titus Braxton and into this guy. However, in doing that, you don't really have the luxury of taking as aimed a shot as you would to hit the weak spots. And kind of similar to Braxton's assessment, you realise that these arrows are bouncing off armour that a lot of inferior plate would have passed through. But these ones are glancing.
Okay, and actually, before I say anything, I don't know if that's classed as a. Where is it? I literally can't find it now. A Horde Breaker, it's not a thingy, is it?
It'll be in your subclass.
Features and traits.
Traits.
It's a special, so it's not a bonus action.
That's what I wanted to double check. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no action. Cool. Yeah. So I'm gonna Horde Breaker on number 1. I'm gonna use the Iridium Arrow Quiver as well.
Okay, so you kind of reach back a little lower to the second quiver on your back and draw one of these iridium-tipped arrows. As you notch it, you kind of see the wavy pattern on this arrowhead as you take aim.
And come on.
Roll with damage, please.
So that's 2d8 plus 5. Oh, is it plus 6 now?
You keep your
plus
modifier.
6,
You only double the dice, not your modifiers.
Yeah, but it's I wasn't sure if it was plus 5 or plus 6, but it's plus 6 because of the
Okay.
proficiency bonus. So 20 on that one.
You don't do proficiency bonuses to damage as well.
The
plus
plus 6.
Yeah, it's plus 6.
Yeah, it's gone up 1 because of proficiency bonus, hasn't it? Because it used to be a plus 5, and it's plus 6 now.
Yeah, but you don't add proficiency to damage rolls. Proficiency is only for when you're making attack rolls.
Oh, right.
Damage, it'll just be your dex that you add onto it.
Oh,
you
right,
do.
okay. So it's showing plus 6 on mine now. That's all. That's what I was confused by. So it's 1d8 plus 6 now.
Could have sworn. I might be wrong. Let me double check that.
Yeah, so the basic thing is that the long bow itself does like a standard D8, but then you do a D8 plus your proficiency and what else? Or is it your dex? No, it is your dex.
It's your dex. Yeah, proficiency is generally not added to damage rolls.
Yeah, proficiency.
Okay.
Yeah, unless some feature expressly says it should.
D&D Beyond is showing us 1d8 plus 6, and I swear it used to be 1d8.
Yeah, because it's your dex plus 1 modifier of the actual bow itself.
Yeah, that's to hit rather than damage.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the plus 1 gives plus to hit and damage. That's what the plus 1 is.
Okay, yeah, so it'll be, if it's a plus 1 to your damage as well. Okay, no, I get you. It's not adding your proficiency, it's adding the actual blows.
So yeah, your proficiency is to hit. That's what
Sure.
you want to do.
Right,
Okay.
Never mind. I was confusing myself, don't worry.
No worries. So what did that work out as?
20.
20. So you kind of notch this arrow and take careful aim. You release the arrow kind of on the half exhalation, as you always do. And you watch this bolt fly towards this dog. It kind of passes very close to Braxton, but it doesn't cause him any harm or anything. And whereas some of your other arrows in the past seem to have gone through, you see that this one sticks in what appears to be kind of the spectral form of this dog. And you can see this causes it to rear back, and it instinctively bites the shaft off the arrow. But you can see this iridium arrowhead kind of sticking into this dog. That one seems to have been pretty damn effective.
Nice. That's me for that round then.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant.
Rightio. Looking dead ahead. This guy's still stunned. So run and do a flyby stabbing with the spear.
Okay.
So let's do first attack. 22.
Hits.
Okay, so 20 misses, 22 hits. Nope. Plus 7. 13.
13 damage. So you can see now, as the spear, you kind of put it into the kind of what you hoped would be his spinal column, kind of through the back, but it's a little bit off. You kind of get a blow to the neck. You can see he's bleeding profusely here, and he kind of wobbles a little bit as this spear hits.
Actually, yeah. So second attack, I'll aim for the one.
The dog. Alrighty. That's a hit.
26. Yep. D8 plus 7. 13. And that's magical. This is really
So as you kind of thrust this spear, kind of the iridium alloy tip isn't quite as effective as Havel's pure iridium alloy, but you can see this this dog start to slowly fade. It doesn't seem to be, dying or anything, but you can see it just slowly fades away to a point where you can't see it anymore.
Okay. I'll right. Continue on past, and I'll flurry of blows, do a flying, leaping kick.
Okay.
Still got 1 point left after that key point.
Yeah, kind of burning through them here.
First, I'm hoping the combat's nearly over, but that was so nearly an 18. It's plus 9, 14.
So you pass kind of straight through this thing with your foot kind of leading the way.
Okay. So landing on the other side, do a quick roll, turn, and do a spinning heel kick. The second blow. Fuck off.
And once again, you kind of go for that kind of reflexive backwards heel kick. And again, the foot just kind of passes through this thing's left flank.
I suppose I landed on the other side when I did the flying kick. Yeah, that's it.
Okie dokie.
Ended up in not a great position, right?
Yep. Well, the first dog is off the field. So that brings us to Tristle the homunculus.
Guy, do you have anything pressing you need to do with homunculus?
No. I guess I'll move in within touch spell range of people. And I'm going to move by these 3 boys here. Why not? And he's going to dodgy wodgy.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just relinquish that dead body of
Mhm.
the cultist.
So you hear a dull thud as the body now lifelessly hits a rock and rolls into the river, and is very quickly caught up in the current.
See you later, fella. You don't need to be a meat club. And then I'm going to move. Just sort of trying to figure out where Ruland stood. 5, 10. I'm gonna move here. And actually, I'm gonna kind of scooch round them.
Mhm.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna change my mind about that. I'm gonna stay here. And then I'm gonna Eldritch Blast number 2 dog.
Okay, sure. Roll me those, please.
Super. And then I'm gonna try and Repelling Blast him as well.
Okay.
Provided we're successful. Oh god. One of those is an 18 and the other one's a 14.
So that is 1 hit and 1 miss.
Okay. Jeez, what am I doing for this? D8. You'd have thought I could do it in my sleep by now. 1d10 plus 5. Okay. So 9 damage, and then he's pushed back in a straight line 10 feet as well.
Alrighty. So you kind of cast this blast, and you can see that whilst Rulin's kind of more corporeal attacks here have failed to really gain any traction on this thing, you notice that the magical energies you hit it with seem to have some effect on it. The energy kind of dissipates as it hits the form and kind of explodes out in the kind of pattern you've come to expect a hit to do, and it's kind of knocked off its balance and kind of stumbles backwards from the force of it all. Flickers a little bit as it's hit. Alrighty, Braxton, you're up.
Let's keep up the assault on this guy, I guess.
Oh, Ruland's had his go, so he's no longer stunned, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 attacks straight at him.
Mm-hmm.
That's missing a hit, I think.
Missing a hit.
That's 9 damage.
How you want to do it?
Ooh. So
He's just woken up from his kind of stunned condition in time to see this happen.
so noticing the weakness that I exposed during the hit where I used the smite, I aim for that precise point again and just thrust the sword more of a straight stab rather than a slice, and get it straight through this weakness and as deep as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Braxton, as you drive this kind of point into it, an already damaged spot, you kind of manage to get it really in deep, and you feel the resistance give as this blade comes out the other side of his leg. You kind of give this a fairly brutal twist, and you watch as this guy's kind of right leg just is severed just below the hip, and he very quickly bleeds out.
Nice. So then I'll just move up to assist over this dog.
Okay. Righty. So yeah, dog's up. He's going to make an attack against Rulin here, having been engaged with him the longest. So Rulin, you see this coming and manage to brace your spear. So roll me the damage of a spear blow against him.
Okay.
Dogs aren't having much luck today.
9.
9 damage. Okay. So yeah, as this iridium alloy kind of pierces into his flesh, and you notice kind of similar thing happens to kind of Howl's arrow in that you are seemingly hitting this thing's form rather than having these attacks pass through it, and it kind of recoils a little bit as this damage comes through. Definitely a lot easier than the last time you fought them. Brings us back around to Titus.
Good old big boy. Yeah, well, there's only one enemy left, so we all know what he's going to do. He's going to run up, and he's actually just going to kind of... How high is this embankment?
About 5 foot. It's not massively tall.
So he'd be able to just, like, kind of pop over.
Yeah, mount it, and then...
And, like, as he's jumping down the other side of the dog, he's going to make his attack as kind of like, a leaping, bringing it down.
Mm-hmm. So still using the Great Axe.
Yep.
And roll me those, please.
Keeping the big boy out, and we'll go Reckless as well for the first attack. So that's... Oh, kind of glad I did. Otherwise that would have been terrible. That first one's a miss, and then the second one... 11 plus... Oh, 10.
You'll need to do an advantage, that second one.
Oh, I thought it was just advantage. Oh, right. I thought it was
No, it's all attacks.
Oh, I've misread it. I thought it was the
okay, so yeah, that's definitely a hit.
27, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That will do. So 1d12 plus 6. 16.
Okay, so as Titus kind of chops off this platform overhead, he uses the added height to kind of put some more momentum into this blow. And he brings this kind of obsidian axe down onto this thing's spine, and you hear a distinct yelp as this axe just lands perfectly and seems to go deep. In a similar manner to Ruden's spear, this seems to actually be hitting the dog itself. And very quickly, this dog starts to flicker and before your eyes, it very quickly fades out, kind of still yelping and seeming in pain, but you quickly lose sight of it. And I'll need a Constitution saving throw, DC 15 for that hit for Titus.
Let's do it.
With the 4, because Braxton's yep. So he's good. Okay. So you guys kind of look around, dust yourselves off, but seems you're alone again on this road.
Cool.
I'm going to use my bonus action to keep him hot on his heels.
So you keep those shoes as hot as you can. You don't know what effect it's having, but it makes you happy nonetheless.
Yes.
Havel would like to... The cultist that's laying on the ground here.
Mm-hmm. You can see that... Yeah, his right leg is detached, and you can see there's been a reasonable amount of damage to his plate from the repeated blows, but he's lying there on the ground.
Check to see if there's anything on his person, like a note or anything in his pockets that could indicate, where Alistair hired him from, or absolutely anything, basically.
So, as you kind of rifle through his pockets, you don't find much to really identify him. You can see that he's got what you'd expect a soldier to have on him. So you can see there's a sidearm, kind of a small dagger at his side. The plate is clearly for combat. There's not much carrying space. However, as you rifle through his shirt pocket underneath, you find a blood-stained letter. The blood is fresh. You suspect it's his own. But as you open it up, you see a kind of a drawing of what appears to be a small box, and beneath it, just like the simple phrase, "Priority acquisition target: the gnome."
Got a hard on for Torek.
What did Trish do with the body of the other guy?
She let it drop. It's kind of gone,
they've gone
a bit downstream, and these currents are fast. They would be quite far away by now.
Probably leave a nice blood trail.
I'll probably just point out. Oh, looking at the box as well. I've seen Toric's box before. I'm guessing
You have seen Toric's box, and it looks like a a fairly simplicized drawing, but you can see that's kind of what it's depicting.
Okay. I'll pass the note to Toric and be like, "This will look like yours."
Yes, it is mine.
So Toric, it's clearly missing most of the finer details. You guess it's more to give these guys an idea of like looking out for something similar, maybe.
So it's kind of like almost like a sketched wanted poster.
In a way, yes, but for an object rather than a person.
Yeah.
Well, Alistair seemed rather interested in you, didn't he, Toric?
But he already has my box. Unless he's lost it. Or perhaps he's looking for some others that exist.
If
Oh,
it's your box, perhaps he's looking for a way to open it.
Exactly. That's why he wants you. He can't open.
he wants me.
He wants you
I
to
suppose
open
he
it.
did try and grab me. Yes.
Well,
This is good news. This is fantastic news. My life's work isn't jeopardized. He wants me, therefore, he still hasn't opened the box. Everything is still a secret. They're in the dark compared to us.
didn't you say the box was empty anyway? You did, didn't you? I'm not making that up.
Hello?
Yeah.
I need to turn you up, sorry.
As I can relay that if you didn't get it, but basically asking if the box is empty or not.
The box currently contains a lot of sketches to do with what I found at the fountain. And
But I mean,
Yeah.
when you like the actual box itself, when you originally opened it, it was just empty, wasn't it?
the box itself contains, it contains the sketches of the fountain, and also, funnily enough, the contract to our first job, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That is
all I can
correct.
remember putting in it, at least. Later in the campaign, he's like, "Oh, I left a cheese sandwich in here."
It's horrifically mouldy by now. Yeah.
Okay. Two things. First one's actually a question for Crispy.
Mm-hmm.
The iridium-tipped arrow. If the dog faded away, did that go with it?
Yes, it seems to have.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. Just let's double check. And my second thing is, are there any birds in the area? I can
Well,
see that might be
you-
flying above, like going over us.
you look around and you can't really see any. You suspect the kind of large fireball followed by the kind of general din of combat has scared away most of the local wildlife.
Cool. Can I go searching for a bird? Not massively far away. I still want to kind of keep within visible distance, but I just want to see if I can find something.
Okay, so you kind of venture a little bit into a forest. You're a couple of 100 yards. It seems that this loud combat is really put to flight anything that was close by. They're animals after all. They're not going to stick around after all that. Got instincts and everything.
God damn it, birds! All right then, I'll head back.
Okay, so Havel returns. Doesn't seem to have found what he was after.
Well, we have a few choices, really. We can try and pursue him, or we can continue on our way back to Weirden.
I suspect if he's not ready for us to find him, we won't have much success. We could try, but I don't know that any of us are really in the best shape to go chasing him down.
So it's still, midday-ish. You've got a fair bit of light left.
Where they were hiding in the trees over here?
Yeah.
We checked for any tracks to see where they might have come from to get to their positions.
You can.
Survival?
Please.
14.
14. So you can kind of see a few heavy boot prints. You see 2 sets. You assume that to be Alistair and the cultist who was kind of wearing the plate armor. And you can see they kind of do lead back a little bit into the forest. And you follow those for a couple of 100 yards. And they kind of wind down through a kind of naturally occurring ravine. And you follow those for a couple more 100 yards before the surface of the ravine starts becoming more kind of rocky and full of scree rather than soft dirt, at which point the tracks become kind of too faint to read.
So we don't find the horses.
No, you do not find the horses.
Do I find the bird?
At this point, Havel, yes, you do. You find a couple of magpies sat kind of up in a branch.
Okay, I'll cast Speak with Animals, level 1, and Animal Friendship, level 2, just so I can get 2 birds.
Okay.
I'm just going to call them over and just be like, can you just have a quick look around and see if you can find any horses? You know, the big things, like 4 legs. We ride them usually. You may have seen us sat on them. Kind of like flushy tails, bit of a mane.
Okay. So these magpies, they kind of look at you, and you can see that at least one of them kind of gets the gist of what you're saying, and kind of squawks at his mate, and the 2 of them set off in kind of different directions. So you kind of sit and wait for these birds to kind of do their little reconnaissance. And you see, as looking around you, this ravine looks like it'd be a home to something potentially quite nasty in a more northern biome. Cave structures tend to be found in these places, so you're a little bit on edge. But as you keep your eyes peeled, you don't see anything immediately that worries you. But after another 15 minutes or so, one of the magpies flies back and quite excitedly, it seems to be gesturing you to follow it.
Catch the pigeon! Catch the pigeon.
So as you follow it, it kind of keeps on circling back to check that you're kind of still keeping up with it. It tries to keep to a pace you can follow. I mean, it's still just short of a run, really, but with Havel leading the way, you guys are able to follow in his trail fairly easily. It's leading you through some fairly dense bushes, and the going is not easy by any means, but you kind of forge on as best you can. So Havel, you kind of push through this undergrowth and find yourself looking up at this magpie that's just circling overhead a spot. And you can see you're back on the road, and there's a kind of a cart with a couple of horses pulling it, and you can see 2 elves kind of sat up front, and they kind of immediately are looking quite fearful as this group of heavily armed individuals comes pouring out of the bushes for him. And like one of them, it kind of drops her reins straight away. Take it, please! No, just don't hurt us. You can have it.
Just gonna look at me like, wait, what? No, not you. Fuck off.
So be calm. Be calm. We're not bandits. Looking for someone. Have you seen anyone riding through? A man in armor, red.
No, I can't say I have. We're not long out of Wed, and we've not come too far. But I can assure you, we haven't seen a man that matches that description.
Insight. I'm gonna insight that motherfucker.
Okay, roll me an insight.
-3. Yes, 5.
Why?
He's a lying son of a bitch, Tarek, and you know it.
He's lying. He's Alistair in disguise.
This guy is taken aback. Alistair? No, that's not me. I'm not Alistair at all. I don't know who you're talking about.
Show me your feet, imposter.
My feet? You kind of see what appears to be the elder of the two elves kind of lead in. Be calm, Fila. Do as he says. There are some weird people out there. They like weird things. It'll be over soon. Just go with it. And so, quite reluctantly, this kind of elf leans down and peels off his boots. I mean, like they're fairly roughshod boots. They're clearly not wealthy travelers. And he kind of extends his foot, and it's an elfin foot, so it's fairly dainty.
Yeah, I'm just gonna poke it with the edge of my blade and just be like, "No, this isn't what I'm looking for at all."
You see him recoil a bit as the blade touches his foot. Can I put my boot back on?
These what kind of condition are these people? Do they seem to be like? Oh, what else?
They seem to be kind of a rural sort. From the looks of it, they're transporting some goods on this wagon of theirs. Crate's not dissimilar from the ones you saw earlier.
Okay. Rule will step forward and just said, please accept my apologies for my friend and hand the elder 5 gold pieces and just say, you can be on your way. We're not looking.
They
apologies.
They look a little shocked at first, but the elder one kind of snaps out of it first and reaches forward and quite gladly accepts your peace offering there. And as this wagon's going away, you can kind of hear a gentle sobbing. Don't worry, lads, this will be okay. With this, we can pay for therapy. But they quite quickly put some distance between themselves and you.
Thorek's trying to get fucking feet pics off strangers.
Well, he's clearly on horses we're looking for, so it's probably worth heading back, I guess.
Nice magpie, Havel. Very helpful.
Is that magpie still nearby?
It's kind of circling overhead. It seems to be following the horses a little bit, so it's getting further and further away.
Okay. I assume it's a similar thing, actually. Just relinquish it. Let it be on its merry way. Do what it wants.
Yep.
It did the job, technically.
Yeah, it did. It did a shit job, but it did a job.
It did the exact job that it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fairly loose criteria you gave it.
Reader, basically.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go turn, get the horses, pack up.
Mm-hmm. So you guys kind of read.
Toss this last guy's body into the river.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
just dispose
his weapons and armor and whatever is what kind of conditions all that.
So as I said, his armor has taken a bit of damage, but it's going to be repairable, definitely. It is, however, quite interestingly stylized. It's kind of got the spikes you saw on the shoulders. Definitely not a standard military piece, but it seems to be of that quality. no distinguished kind of coat of arms that you recognise.
Sorek, could your bag hold his equipment?
Could I what? Sorry.
Could your bag hold his equipment?
I think my bag could hold just about anything. I grin up at you while opening the bag of holding for you to put them in.
I'll take his plate armor and his is it a warhammer, I guess?
It is, yeah, it's his Warhammer.
Oh,
So that takes you a while to kind of unstrap this armor from him and kind of separate it into its base pieces that will fit into the bag. But you managed to get all in there.
No, it detaches like this. Oh, apparently it doesn't. We're going to be a while here.
Yeah, so it takes you about 20 minutes to do that, and you'll have to obviously assemble it again at the other end when the time comes.
Well, Dolasar might be interested in taking it off our hands.
I just had this beautiful idea that lightning arrows is like any thrown weapon as well. So if I get that hammer, I could just turn into 4.
So on doing some reading about that, Jace, lightning arrows is the next attack, so it's not every subsequent attack. If you read the fine print.
All this fine print.
Yeah, because I was thinking, 4d8
shit.
reliably twice a turn is basically
that's
just
fair.
makes you a turbo wizard.
Yeah.
So I was a bit.
Oh, okay.
I was a
that's
bit. I didn't realize Ranger had such a big power leap, but yeah, we'll know for next time.
Alright, okay.
So it's a
Sorry about
learning process. That's cool. I mean, I didn't realize either. So we'll know for future.
Yeah, I just read the concentration for 1 minute.
Yeah,
so
no
I
worries,
thought
it's
that
fine.
meant, it was going on for a minute. That's cool.
So any kind of hardcore rules lawyers watching the stream will have quit at episode 2 anyway. So
Probably given them a heart attack.
It's interesting as well when you actually read it. It says transforms into a bolt of lightning, so it's not an arrow with lightning damage. It's an
it is
actual
just a
bolt of
lightning bolt.
Goes back and
Yeah, so fine for normal arrows, but it means you can't recover them.
Actually, there it does say at the bottom: the piece of ammunition or weapon then returns to its normal form.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it won't change that most of those arrows are lodged in cultists that have now washed downstream.
Yeah, no,
So,
Sorry about that.
but okay, cool. Well, in which case, although there wouldn't be much point in adding into iridium arrows because the attacks would be magical anyway.
yeah, that's why. Yeah,
Cool.
turned it off.
So yeah, you guys take the time to stick all that in the bag of holding and kind of return to the horses and mount up. By now it is starting to get a little dark, but you're not far from Weirden. You can definitely get there before too long. So you guys have a comparatively uneventful trip back, and the city walls rise up to meet you. And that, I think, is where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Okay, everyone, next session, bring your balaclavas because we're planning a heist.
So I'm going to have to say now I can't do next week, unfortunately. The week after that, I think.